Like, okay, I spent several years being patriotic. Fuck the haters, and that's how it is, YouTube. Nah, stupid fucking lighter. Fuck you, stupid fucking lighter. Hey lighter, fuck you. Oh, you don't like being beat up. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't fucking like it. Then maybe you shouldn't fucking go against the grain, stupid fuck. I'll beat you up, you piece of shit. God damn it! I broke my fucking cigarette. Fuck. Fucking social media doesn't give a shit. Fuck you. Fuck you fucking touching me, you piece of fucking shit, you. And fuck this. And of course my drink has to spill. I lose my fucking temper over these stupid fucking assholes. And no one's gonna feel sorry for me, because it's just like you did it to yourself, dude. You had a fucking drink combo, and you had to lose your fucking autistic temper. Spill it for yourself, fucking bullshit. Get the fuck out of my way, stupid fucking hat. Stupid fucking piece of shit, fucking hat. Fuck you, oh it's here. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You fucking piece of goddamn shit. Fuck you, you stupid fucking butthole. Stay on the fucking desk, stay on the fucking desk, you piece of shit. Fuck you, I told you. How many times did I fucking tell you to stay on the fucking desk? Fucking stay on the desk, I told you 1,000 times. Fuck you, fuck you, you stupid fuck. You wanna fall off the desk to be cute, and no one asked you to be cute, you piece of shit. Fuck you. I don't care if I got a nasty fucking temper. Fuck you. Stay the fuck in my hand, you piece of shit. I'll smoke you until you're dead. Fuck you. Don't care if anyone cited me, I'm fucking miserable. I'm just making the best of every day. That's all you can do, YouTube. That's all I can do. Temper, fuck you. Stay the fuck in my hand, you piece of shit. I'll smoke you until you're dead. Fuck you. Don't care if anyone cited me, I'm fucking miserable. I'm just making the best of every day. That's all you can do, YouTube. That's all I can do.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Oh!
Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast. This is episode 1412. Doing it live. 1412 back again on the channel. And there's a lot going on right now in the Cobraverse. Like, there's
King Cobra ruled their sad lives.
He was revenge porned recently, and then and he made a video yesterday saying he's pressing charges against her, and then that video got false flagged into oblivion for like sexual content or something, and. And it didn't have any, so, but luckily the video was saved, and I have it, and we're going to watch it, and we're going to take a look at that. I know Cobra was in the chat earlier, so maybe he'll pop in. He'll grace us with his presence later on. Yeah, so everyone, please like the stream. This is the third official show of the week. We're trying to meet the goal up at the top of the screen. You see it there, 68.6%. If you want to help us out and meet this goal, just send us a message with a Streamlabs message by using the link at the top of the chat.
Hey, Billy. Welcome back. What happened to you? Were you on vacation?
I was not.
No.
I was not.
Nope. He was doing his own streams. All right. We are going to do the intro, and then we'll watch the Cobes video.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong.
What went
I know
wrong?
we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. Stand up.
It's amazing.
Stand up.
Stand up.
It's amazing.
Stand up.
All right. So here it is in all of its glory. Cobra talking about how he's pressing charges. So here it is. We'll watch as much of it as we can, but probably not the whole thing.
Fellow YouTubers, so I did file a official charges on Jessica Boyle for revenge pointing my ass. She sent the fucking pocket knife that I bought for her back with a bunch of other things, and a bullshit fucking manipulative fucking letter that I just ripped up and tore apart after I read.
You should have burnt it, Cobes. You should have filmed a video of you burning it.
The whole letter she hand wrote was basically talking about herself. People warned me about Jessica. They said, she's fucking crazy, dude. Don't do it. And I'm like, how bad can she really be? And the problem with Jessica Boyle is she's so mentally insufferable, she either does it on purpose to try to get what she wants, or she's mentally unaware of how insufferable she is.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. I don't think it can be both of those unless she like flips back and forth.
She's definitely used to complaining to get what she wants. Probably because people will give her what they can to shut her up. And I think that's probably what's happened to her throughout most of her life.
Yeah.
She cries and people will like, here, take this. Go away.
Yeah, it's like a baby crying. You give it the pacifier to shut it up, but she's 40.
Yeah, this is Jessica Boyle we're talking about.
Jessica Boyle, also known
Cobra's
as Naked and Laughing.
Jessica.
Yeah.
And she can't help it because she's got mental problems. And either way, it's frustrating. Jessica Boyle is like, I want the pink coat back. And I'm like, you left it here and told me I don't want it. Fuck Chris. And that's funny how, like, Chris could buy your plane tickets only because he wants content. And you tell Chris you're not going to fucking drink while you're at Josh's. And you drink every day you've been here.
Yeah, and secretly streamed, which is crazy.
And then when I go to hand you your coat back, you're like, I don't want it because Chris gave it to me. And why is she mad at Chris? Because Chris told Courtney Noit on stream that Jessica Boyle was staying with me until the remainder of her visit was over. And Jessica Boyle saw this on Courtney's stream and fucking lost her shit. Sitting there like, I can't believe Chris said that. And then what does she fucking go and do? She fucking goes and starts streaming in my...
So Chris and Courtney, I guess, are like supporters of Cobra, and I guess for a short time, Jessica, I believe.
Courtney has always been a Cobra's like, I don't know. Does she do her own streams?
I
Cobra
have no
guests with her? Is that?
Maybe that. Okay, the blonde woman.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know
Courtney.
Crystal, but yeah, there was a blonde woman he would also stream with too. Maybe that is Courtney.
House without my permission, and then lies to me about it, and then makes a fight about it, and instead of being about communication, what she claims to be about, She films the entire fucking thing for the internet to laugh and ridicule us for, and then she'll play victim because she's sick and tired of people bullying us and bullying her. She doesn't fucking think. Her drive and addiction for alcohol and social media and attention on social media outweighs any rational thoughts, and she needs fucking help.
Yes.
I don't know what help for her would be.
Probably like a group home or maybe even a mental hospital. I don't know. Like, I'm not qualified to diagnose anything, but she seems like she needs like actual like direct care. So
yeah.
I read the
Cobra
letter.
can't save her.
No.
She sent me with her fucking stupid care package. She's not getting any of that crap back because she told me, I don't want that pink jacket back. Chris gave it to me. And now several fucking weeks later, she's sitting here sending me a letter. Well, you better send that back. Like, she doesn't fucking comprehend reality. I'm going to donate that fucking jacket to charity, to people who fucking need clothes more than she does.
Yeah.
And Jessica Boyle can fuck right off. I've already pressed charges on her for fucking revenge pointing my ass.
I want to know how he did it because he's supposed to be. He's supposed to call the police in Virginia because there's a law against it in Virginia and the crime was committed in Virginia. So, and on my stream yesterday, I looked at all the criteria that needs to be met for it to be a crime, and she meets all of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I doubt there's a chance it wouldn't even get prosecuted, but maybe it will. And if it does, they'll probably just give her like a plea deal and probation. But that means she won't be able to fly to Casper anymore. She'll have to stay in her state. Yeah.
I had a nice little conversation with the Casper Police Department about that. That I'm trying to let go of Jessica.
One warned Cobes that Jessica was insane.
We did. We did.
Cobra had to see for himself, right?
Yeah.
He had to know.
I mean, we've learned, right? We've learned that Cobra will do the opposite when someone tells him to do something, or he just won't do anything. His dad said that in that interview. And I've noticed it when Cobra will pop into our chat, a lot of people will start telling him what to do, and he does not like that. He does not like being told what to do. So you can't do that.
Only idiots tell King Cobra what to do.
Jessica, ignore her stupid shit and move on. And she just keeps coming up like an unwanted fucking bullshit issue. I wake up this morning and people are like, oh my God, Josh, Jessica's revenge pointing you. And I'm like, seriously? And then she complains because Messica will take the shit she posts publicly on her cam full.
Silver lining, though, as we speak right now, Ozzy Osbourne is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're streaming it live on Disney+.
Go.
I saw Cher was getting
Dave
in.
Matthews Band?
Yep, Dave Matthews Band, Cher, Kool and the Gang, and Ozzy are the ones I know of. I don't know who else is getting in.
And then Jessica Messica will post it on her Facebook. And Jessica Boyle will complain because it's revenge porn. I hate Jessica Messica. And then what she does, she's the world's biggest fucking hypocrite because then she'll do the exact same thing to me. The only difference is what me and Jessica did on camera, allegedly, is fucking private.
Yeah, they filmed all kinds of porno, I believe. I think, like, in an earlier video before it was leaked, I think he talked about how they filmed a lot of stuff together, so...
Yeah, that's what lovers do.
And I would never revenge porn Jessica, no matter how mad she made me. Because I'm the more mature and bigger person. And the fact that Jessica Boyle can't stop talking about me on her fucking streams, and she's trying as hard as she can to use me for clout.
It's funny because she goes back, like, within a 10-minute span, she goes from being, like, super angry and saying all these terrible things about him to crying and saying how much she loves him and misses him. It's insane.
Yeah.
And then wants to accuse me of all the shit she's doing in that letter. reading that letter was just so laughable. And the fact
I'm surprised he read it because I would have just been like, goodbye. I don't even want to know. You're blocked. Get blocked, troll. That's what I would say.
He took time to write the
I always assume there could be some information in the letter that leads to treasure. So I read every letter that's sent to me in case there's treasure.
By the way, Cool in the Gang, or I'm sorry, Mary J. Blige and Peter Frampton are also getting inducted. I believe.
Was Mary J. Blige connected to the Diddy allegations?
I have no idea. Just because someone was in a picture with Diddy, I don't think that they're connected to it. There has to be more evidence than that.
Yeah, I heard there was an allegation that she was like the Ghislaine Maxwell, but I could be thinking of someone else.
I don't know.
Early on.
out. Shows she is hooked on me, dude. Drinking some Electric Crow, don't mind me. But no, Jessica Boyle needs to fucking leave me the fuck alone. A lot of my fans are sick and tired of her crap. I read the letter out loud that Jessica Boyle sent me with her little care package where she said the knife I gave her back.
I'm surprised she did that.
You know, and then like 10 years
she's
down...
just trying to keep contact with him. She's going to find any excuse to send him any correspondence. There's a reason she said no to the pink jacket, so she could come back and get it later.
I would love her to go in front of a judge and try to keep her mouth shut while the judge is telling her what's what. I would love to see that. I
think the judge would have her committed.
I don't know. Or they find her guilty of contempt and she'd spend the night in jail.
The road, she'll complain and say, oh, I want the knife back because you gave it to me. Like, that's the kind of person she is. Don't believe me? Case in point. When Jessica Boyle was fucking leaving Casper, Wyoming the last time, she was...
Oh, here's Cobra drinking London Dry Tanqueray gin mixed with...
Signature Select Peaches and Cream.
Ooh.
Cheers. Peaches and cream with Tanqueray. Let's go. That's got bite to it. You know what I'm going to do for you, Cobra? I'm going to take a swig of the Jack from my guy drinking with you. Cheers.
Here. I tried to hand her her pink jacket that Chris bought for her, and she was like, I don't want that. Chris gave it to me. Like I said earlier. And now she's like done a complete 180, and she's like, I want that jacket back. I'm like, no, you don't.
I'm doing alcohol-free. I'm doing alcohol-free October, so all I have is kombucha, Island Mango.
Sip of the booch for Cobes?
Yeah. Cheers, Cobra.
For several fucking days, and you're a fucking creepy stalker. Jessica Boyle is fucking mentally unstable and mentally unpredictable, and I wish she would just fucking leave me alone and stop talking about me on social media. And everyone's giving me shit about this.
Alone, Jessica.
And trying to compare it to me telling my ex-crushes to telling the internet to leave them alone. I'm like, okay, I would never stalk anyone.
Yeah. If someone was like, Cobra, don't come to my house when I don't want you to, Cobra wouldn't do that. But Jessica does. She oversteps bounds.
Yeah.
Dude. When Jessica Boyle's doing all this crap to me, all my trolls point and laugh. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah.
If I
further proof that Cobra's trolls are not good people.
Say, hey, leave my ex-crushes alone. I get called a stalker. That's fucking...
Just putting this out there, Cobra has the wrench, so if you make him mad, he might block you. Just throwing that out there.
Bullshit, dude.
Gotta be nice to kick Cobra.
It's Cobra roulette.
Yeah.
No, Jessica Boyle fucking gave me that copper cup as a gift. I fucking can't stand Jessica Boyle, and I wish she'd just fucking leave me alone. And she keeps talking all this shit about how much she fucking hates me and what a horrible person I am, and how people...
I mean, if this did go to court, like, and she was charged with revenge porn, I think the judge could also do like a no contact kind of thing as like a stipulation of her probation to not contact him. I don't know.
She needs to leave him alone. Move on. There are other fish in the sea, Jessica. Start fishing. Leave Cobra alone.
Warned her about me, blah, 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 but she still wants to come back to Casper. And I'm such a piece of shit. Why the fuck? Oh, because I miss Casper. It's always an excuse with her. I can't fucking stand her, dude. And I wish she'd just fuck off and leave me alone. How am I the one using her for content when I go several fucking days without talking about her on my fucking channel, focusing on my drink combos, my food hacks, and what's going on with Cobra? And then I watch a Drunken Peasants episode where several people have taken the several videos that Jessica's made about me in the last couple of days since she's been back to Virginia, clipping it because they know she'll deny it as soon as anyone calls her out on it. The whole letter she sent me was basically a reflection on herself.
That's really what Jessica is.
The letter out loud
a
on
reflection
camera.
of her own insecurity, and no matter how strong of a person you are, you can't carry someone's crippling insecurity for them. I saw Cobra as Jessica's boyfriend putting up with so much more than I ever would.
Yeah.
I was like, the patience King Cobra has. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't break my window. You'll be out on the streets.
Because it was so fucking laughable. It was like she was talking about herself and then trying to project her own fucking problems and insecurities onto me, dude. Oh, she's now realized that I'm a horrible piece of shit and she can do so much. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it, dude. Fucking
if
hate
Cobra
Jessica.
was so bad, why don't she leave him alone?
True. Yeah. Why is she so obsessed?
Cobra ain't never chased her.
Like a boil, and I wish she'd quit talking about me on her fucking channel. All it does is make me more famous. All it does is make people realize, dude,
Winning.
Jessica's fucking obsessed with Josh, almost to the point of his trolls obsession. And even Josh's trolls hate Jessica. That speaks high volume.
That is true. That is true. Even the really malicious trolls that wanted nothing but the worst for Cobra hate Jessica more.
They were like, look, we want the worst for Cobra, but not that bad.
Now, I love how my fucking YouTube trolls can hate Jessica for the same things they do to me, but then turn around and it's like, oh, well, I hate Josh because of his fucking videos, but Jessica, oh no, she's the worst. How dare she treat Josh like that?
Yep.
Fuck you. Like, my YouTube trolls have this fucking ego that makes them think they're the only ones allowed to treat me like shit and everyone else who does it is horrible. Fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Jessica Boyle said in that letter that she wants the copper cup back. I'm like, you gave that to me as a gift, so I'm not giving it back to you. That she wants the pink jacket back. And it's like, you left that here and said, I don't fucking want it because Chris gave it to me because she was mad at Chris at the time. And now she's no longer mad at him, I guess, and she wants it back because, oh, it's been in Josh's house. The fucking delusional stalker attitude she has is severely fucking unhinged. It's Friday, and I wanted to let y'all know that I pressed charges on Jessica Boyle for revenge porn, me. Sure did. Sure the fuck did. I let the cops know the scoop of the situation, and because I'm tired of it, Jessica Boyle went on.
Cobra, if you're still in the chat, did you call the cops in your town or did you call the cops in her town? Because you might need to call the cops in her town for something to happen. But I don't know exactly what you did. You can let us know when you hear this.
Leave me the fuck alone. She claims she wants me back, but then she does all this fucking stupid shit to try to piss me off and make me angry and make me want to fucking right in the face. But it's like, no, I don't believe in that. I do not. And all this shit Jessica Boyle fucking talks, it's like, well, then you wouldn't fucking sit there and try as hard as you can to piss me off because you're not used to men loving you and caring about you. You're so used to rejection, that's all you accept and expect. So the idea of a man treating you decently, and she wants to sit there and say all this crap that she talked in the letter, believe me, it's hilarious. If you read it, you would have been laughing yourself sick. I'm like, talk all the shit you want to talk, Jessica Boyle, because here's the thing of it. You love the ring I gave you, and when you get too...
In your town, okay. Well, I'm no lawyer, but it's my understanding that it has to be reported where the crime occurred, which would have been where Jessica lives. But I'm not a lawyer. Maybe someone knows better than me.
Drunk on fucking
You should
social
think about
media.
putting a curse on her.
Yeah,
Like a hex.
Use your
Keep her
most
away.
Use your most powerful wand, or however you do it. I am not knowledgeable in the ways of magic, so whatever you got to do.
If you haven't already cast a anti-Jessica protection spell, I think that's a good video idea.
Yeah, you lose your shit and you mentally collapse. Watching Jessica Boyle cry over me is the funniest fucking goddamn shit. It gets my dick so fucking hard watching this psycho bitch fucking lose her shit, have no mental stability, and cry over Josh. And the best part of it is she can't have me because she did it to herself, dude.
She had you, Cobes. She did, and she blew it. She had you. You put up with a lot of shit, but then she accused you of being abusive, and that was the end of it. You put up with a lot of shit.
She lost King Cobra. You gave her way more than you should have, in my opinion.
One video, it's like Josh ain't shit.
Yeah, because he got kicked out of his apartment and was still... Whoa, there we go.
Jessica, guess what? Revenge prawns are not okay. No one wants to see that. Yuck.
That's a fact.
And now we're at 77.78%. Thanks for helping us get this far.
Next video, she's
That
crying her
looks
fucking
nose.
eyes out. Like, you guys don't even know. I love my fire opal ring. I miss Josh. Where? You saw the fucking message I shared with you. Because one day Jessica Boyle gets fucking drunk, whatever, and blows up my phone with all...
The thing that really tipped me off was she threatened Cobra with the $8 machete. I was like, wow, that is like a direct threat.
Was it worse than when she threatened us with it?
Did she do that? Or didn't she say, like, our daughters, which we don't even have, are going to be raped someday? Isn't that what she said to us?
Well, yeah, that too. But I thought she brought up the $8 machete on us as well. Maybe I'm wrong.
I do want to say that's
It was
sicko talk. To, like, tell people that you hope their children get sexually assaulted. Serious sicko shit. Luckily, we don't have children.
I tried to call her out on it. Yeah, I went out that night and tried to knock up a couple of fertile women just to call her out on it. I was like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to make daughters tonight.
Nasty text messages calling me from her phone, her mom's phone, anyone else's fucking phone. And then the one message she leaves after that. Oh, Josh, please talk to me. I love you. I miss you. It's completely fucking unhinged. And my YouTube trolls lying to her about what I said to her are fucking the worst. Like, it's so obvious I'm done with Jessica Boyle and her bullshit, and any feelings that I had for her are completely evaporated. She's stalking me, revenge
Yep.
porning me and trying to make it look like I'm the piece of shit. That's hilarious. If you would have read the letter she sent me that I tore up and spat on and threw in the garbage. Fucking hilarious how she can send me handwritten letters of I love yous and sweet nothings, and then turn around and be like, you're not the person I thought you were. And I'm like, well, Jessica Boyle, you're an insufferable fucking cunt. You literally push everyone away that...
Billy's back. Tip train for Billy Bean back.
Yay! 705, 78.33%.
Tries to love you, and then do everything you can to piss them off, and then when you get what you want, you play victim. That's called gaslighting, and you're a grifter.
I'm looking in the chat, and was in the chat. It says she threatened to machete her neighbor 3 nights ago too. It's okay. Does she have the $8 machete? Does she have the $8 to buy a machete? How close are we to Jessica murdering somebody? Like, what's the chain of command here? Do we know if she has one yet?
Do they sell machetes at Walmart? Because she lives near a Walmart and she always goes there, and she's always buying shit from there. So if the machete is only $8, she could easily buy one.
We have to assume she has $8. I'm going on Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, like what Walmart is allowed to sell varies by region too. Like, does the Walmart here? Because like in Ohio, the Walmart sold guns. I don't know if they do here, but like. They like there's a hunting section with like rifles and big knives and machetes and shit. So
it looks like they got a $5 machete at Walmart.
Damn, even cheaper.
Yeah, I don't think I want to get hacked by a $5 machete.
No. It'll give you tetanus.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey Jessica, if you're watching right now, just leave us and Cobra alone, please.
Thank you.
You know, like, I'm so tired of fucking talking about her, dude. But people are going to be wondering, okay, after the last video, it's like, oh my god, Cobra, Jessica Boyle revenge porns you? What are you going to do about it? Unless Jessica Boyle got drunk and shared the porn with, like, my YouTube trolls as a way to, like, spite me, you know, kind of thing. Like, everyone's seen my dick, so how is it, you know what I'm saying? How you...
Yeah, I accidentally saw it thanks to Jeff Holiday.
You're getting even with me. If anything, it's just boosting my credit as a rock star, because it's like, oh, hey, look.
Fact.
Yeah. Jessica Boyle is the fucking worst. 1 second.
Gotta get that drink. Gotta let that drink settle.
She's making up all these lies about me on YouTube and then trying to gaslight me into forgiving her. It's so fucking...
Like, in the same sentence, or at least the same paragraph. Like, it's Jared levels of contradiction within the same paragraph. Only she's more psycho than Jared. Like, Jared's a sicko, but she's insane.
Disgusting.
Yeah, she can act on things. Like, she literally went to Wyoming to Casper for no good reason. That's too much. Jared at least doesn't leave the house.
Dude. I need to fix me another drink. Old Crow.
Old Crow.
And some...
I say Jared's parents let Jessica move in and those two get together.
I'm not even joking. I want that more than anything.
Hold on, though. Jared has to get a vasectomy first, though. So that there's no chance that Jared becomes a father.
There's no way anything's growing in her at this point.
Oh, no. There's
She's
plenty
in her 40s.
No. Oh, plenty of women have kids in their 40s. Plenty.
She's not healthy enough. Nothing's going to come to terms. I'm certain of it.
Blast. No, but...
And Jared's probably got a very low sperm count. If their baby could defy the odds and make it to birth, it deserves to live.
Barb and Bob Chandler had a kid, and he was like 60 and she was 40. So
when Jessica Boyle was here and she wanted to check out a gift
they were
shop.
Good Christian folk, though.
After we got done having a cute little date, you know what I'm saying? She was checking out the gift shop, and she was looking at all the pocket knives they had. And I was like, pick out a pocket knife and I'll buy it for you so you can protect yourself when you're in Virginia Beach, because you can't carry it on the plane, and I'll just send it back to you. And so if I keep that knife and give it to someone else, she'll fucking throw a fit and say, well, I want the knife back because you gave it to me. How I know this? Because she's mentally indecisive and unstable. When she left my house last time, and I tried handing her the pink jacket, air quotes, she was like, I don't want that fucking jacket because Chris gave it to me and I'm mad at him. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, outside of Chris fucking just doing you a favor by giving you a plane ticket and all this money. Because
did he just toot?
Because he wanted content. That's pretty shit. But outside of that, what the fuck do you got to get mad about? You know, without my YouTube fans, Jessica Boyle wouldn't be able to fly out to Casper and get yourself some dick.
No, someone asked if you can't check a pocket knife. Yeah, you can check a knife in a bag that gets stowed under the plane.
Woot woot woot. Tip train for Billy. Jessica reminds me of Mrs. Rubskin. She also has a machete, spends a lot of time in the bathroom screaming and threatening the neighbors. I am also going through a crazy breakup with her because she's nuts.
Hey, you know.
Cheers to you, Teddy. Good luck with that.
They're all nuts. All of them. All of them.
You got to find the right type of nut. Like, I'm not a fan of Brazil nuts.
Hold on.
But I love
do you know what my grandma used to call those? Take a guess.
Neighbor toes?
Well, kind of. You were half right.
And that's the thing of it, Jessica. No amount of sex is ever going to be the same again for you. And I think it's hilarious. All the sex you have until your dying day is going to be fucking meaningless.
You can't go from rock star to average human being.
Crazy, bitter old drunk cat lady in your fucking mom and dad's house. And any shit Jessica talks on me from henceforward is the shit she's talking on herself. The thing about it is that me and Jessica
are... my grandma can't be canceled. She's dead. You can't cancel her.
Both out.
And when she died, she was 99 years old. So, yeah, people called those nuts that back in the day. Louis C.K. did a hilarious bit about it. And that's not what he got canceled for.
If you think that's bad, you should hear what people used to call black people.
Oh, yeah.
Alcoholics. We both have mental...
Don't do eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
...problems, but hers are worse than mine. And we both have hot tempers. And it's not a good combination. She's too much like me, dude.
Yeah,
like,
Cobra needs a nice, cool, chill goth chick.
I can't deal with
used to cut herself, but now just needs the comfort of a loving man. He can play her music on his guitar. She can maybe hum along to it while she crochets. She makes some sick gothic neckwear. That's where we need to go for King Cobra. I think that's the future of Cobra's love life. I see it. We got to manifest that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Praise Cobra's magic.
Like, I'd rather go fucking... And that's the thing of it. If Jessica Boyle thinks, oh, now she says she's moved on after sending me this package. Bullshit. I guarantee you, as soon as she gets drunk on camera, she'll start bitching about me again. Fucking cunt. I like how Jessica...
I feel like he's leaning forward and tooting, but I can't tell.
Boyle can sit here and revenge porn me, but everyone wants to accuse me of stalking my ex-crushes. That is such horseshit.
That was just him moving the chair, right? That wasn't a toot move.
I think.
Jessica Boyle can show up to my fucking...
It is true. Like, he is being legit stalked. Like, legit stalked. And the thing they called stalking wasn't stalking. It was just having a crush.
House, despite me telling her not to. And she's saying...
every time I ever realized I was stalking a girl, I stopped.
Yeah, you had to learn.
Without permission. And then she goes, how is it stalking, Joshy? Because I love you. I like how she can send me a fucking letter with her knife that I bought her at the gift store back and be like, I'm the one with the problem? Right. Because the
We
first
gotta
thing
sit
about
Cobra down with Brent Spiner so they can exchange dealing with stalker tips.
narcissistic people like Jessica is that they will blame everyone else for their problems. Whereas I acknowledge that sometimes I have a hot temper and sometimes I drink too much. I acknowledge my faults. I acknowledge that I'm not perfect. But Jessica Boyle can't fucking acknowledge that shit, man. I'm fucking sick of it.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna fire up the tobacco pipe.
That's a
And a
long
lot of
pipe.
people are fucking on my side with this situation. I got a lot of people who are supporting me, sending me good vibes, and just, you know. And I appreciate it because Jessica Boyle is the fucking absolute worst. I would not.
Teddy Rubskin with the
Okay, you know
visual
what? It would
of the
be
day.
funny to watch my YouTube trolls date Jessica Boyle just to watch them suffer and squirm a little bit, but even I'm not that heartless. As evil and vile as my YouTube trolls are. And it's like, okay, Jessica, if you wanted that pink jacket back so badly, you would
by
have
the way,
taken
I
it.
love Cobra's t-shirt. I'm not quite sure what it is. Is that an album cover?
Yes, it is. And there's like, it looks like there's vag on it, but I don't think there actually is. But
There's
the way,
definitely like a cod piece or something.
yeah. It's almost like something from a Barbarian movie.
Left my fucking house instead of being like, oh, I hate Chris. You can keep the jacket. I don't care what the fuck you do with it. And then turn around a couple months later and it's like, I want the jacket back. That's the kind of person she is, dude. And I'm like, you know what? Screw that. I want to give that fucking jacket to a homeless shelter, and if a woman or flamboyant man who's homeless wants it, they can have it. And Jessica Boyle can fuck right off.
That is a good place to put it. Because he doesn't want to just throw it away. He wants to give it to people in need.
If you wanted that jacket so badly,
That's
you would have
when
taken
people would
it.
send stuff to Cobra's house that he didn't need, he would do his best to try and give it away rather than throw it away. He would, like, if there was cat food or something, he'd try and give it to his neighbors. He was pretty good about not wasting.
When I gave it to you, like, Madame, your coat.
Like, you could pick apart
figure
all the
out-
negative things about Cobra, like he says about himself, he's not perfect. But Cobra doesn't get a lot of the credit for the actual good stuff he does. He there's a lot of stuff Cobra does that is just good guy traits that I think a lot of us probably might not even bother doing. Like, if someone sent a bunch of shit to my house, I'd probably just throw it out. I'd be like, fuck this. But he's like, no, I'm going to repurpose this. That's a good guy thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cobra for
Take
the
it
good
to
guy things you
Goodwill.
do.
Yeah.
How Jessica works. I know how her obsessive compulsive points work. I can read Jessica like a book, and so can everyone else. And nobody's buying it. What am I drinking on right now? Some Mountain Dew Voltage with some Old Crow whiskey. This is what I'd call an electric crow. I've done this drink combo before. It's an older combo. Like, this is the last can of fucking Mountain Dew I have to my name, but I got other stuff to sip on for mixers and for hydration, so it's all good. And when you're encountering a toxic female or a toxic ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, my thoughts go out to you. And like, if you know why Jessica is so fucking upset about the whole thing, why she won't stop talking about me? Because I am the best boyfriend she's ever fucking had. And the only reason I say anything is to defend myself and be like...
Yeah, I would hate to even see her dating history, you know? Like, I don't know. I already watched her one porn. I don't know if she dated that guy or if that was just a hookup, but I felt bad for that guy, too. He didn't really seem into it either. He was kind of just there. He was like a stunt cock almost.
The one thing that I learned from Cobra and Jessica's relationship is that Cobra is ready for love. There just wasn't any there. It was not going to work. Cobra's a good boyfriend.
Ignore this slag, it's bullshit. Well, I can't say that without being told you're just mansplaining. Fuck you.
When a woman tells me I'm mansplaining, I start manspreading. I'm like, we ain't got to talk. And I just open up my legs. I got a big old pile of Billy right there in front of them. I was like, go on, say what you got to say. I'm manspreading.
I hope Jessica Boyle gets the mental help she needs. Jessica's not going to stop. My trolls aren't going to fucking stop, so why the fuck should I stop? You know, to quote Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of fucking Darkness, I don't want to stop. My psycho ex-girlfriend and my psycho obsessive trolls aren't going to make me stop from being awesome, so go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. There's no derailing this Cobra train.
But if Jessica Boyle wants to fucking revenge porn my ass and then sit there and be like, well, you're the problem, Josh. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
You know, in honor of you surviving revenge porn, King Cobra, the next food hack, you should make revenge corn. A delicious corn succotash. I don't know what it is.
How do you get
Corn
revenge
casserole?
with it, though?
It's the whole dish is served cold.
Okay. I was going to say, like... I was going to say, like, soaking it in, like, laxatives or something. I don't know.
Works.
The video got deleted from my YouTube channel for nudity and sexual content since I'm the victim, it would never happen. Yeah. It was a false flag, Josh. You were false flag, and they took your video down. I don't know who did it. I don't know if Jessica could adequately false flag a video by herself. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be forgotten what she's done here. You were definitely the victim. I love how you don't, play the victim. You were hurt here, but you're not going to let it hold you down, man. And whatever you got to do to stop this, do it. She is going too far. Do it.
And if Jessica Boyle's parents wanted to be rid of her so badly, they would just buy her a house.
Oh, no.
And let her figure it out.
Put her in a group home.
But they know Jessica Boyle.
Buying her a house, it would just go to shit. She wouldn't take care of it. The water bill would be insane at this house. She'd probably just stay in the bathtub all day. I don't know.
Maybe they could just get her a pond in the backyard.
she can like swamp wash herself, basically.
Yeah,
a dirty
Gollum
pond
style.
Fish water.
It's not mentally stable to hold down a job or anything. Like Jessica Boyle is more mentally unstable than me and Ozzy Osbourne combined. And that's saying something.
I can't wait
And
until
I hate bringing up Ozzy's name.
Decides to make a King Cobra food hack burger. There's they did the SpongeBob burger. McDonald's did the Kai Cenat burger. Somebody's got to make a King Cobra food hack burger before 2027. I'm calling it.
That fucking
There's a
slag
soccer
it.
game
Like, I
going
don't want
on in my city of Monterrey MX. Wish my team luck, please. They're called Los Rayados
Good
de
luck.
Monterrey. It's versus the local rival. There's already fights breaking out.
Jesus.
People, please don't fight over sports and please.
Yes. Tell Philadelphia Eagles fans that too. It sounds like the teams are somewhere in a Spanish-speaking country. I don't know if it's Mexico or if it's South America or Spain or what. But yeah, good luck.
Los Dorados de Morte. I don't remember what the name was.
Yeah, I don't know where they're out of. I know that the World Cup is coming to Seattle like next year or the year after next.
Really?
Yes. At least some of the games. Some of the games, yes.
Disrespect the Prince of Darkness like that. And the thing of it is I acknowledge that women are emotional by nature, and men are not allowed to have emotions. So you learn to, like, work with it. You as a man are not allowed to have emotions, and she's overly emotional. And if you two are feeling the same emotions, you can hold her and be there for her on the basis of, I feel the same way. It saves your masculinity. And it's like men are way too concerned with being called a faggot or labeled a pussy.
I'm not. That's fine. Label me a pussy or a maggot with an F if you would like.
Better
And
not
women-
label me that.
And use that to their advantage, especially women like Jessica, where it's like, oh, you're insecure with yourself, and it's like, no, the fuck I'm not. You're a fucking delusional, fucking sad, fat fucking cunt who will take cock from anyone who offers it because you're
Oh my
a
God.
slut.
Let's go. Bars.
Jessica Boyle is a fucking slut, man. And like chicks like
Damn.
her are a dime a dozen. There are millions of chicks who want to be cummed on and think, oh yeah, it's going to be so hot. But like,
She
at the
did
end-
make a whole video where she just kept repeating, like, you can come on my face, you can come in. She said, come in my eyes. She said,
Yeah, almost every woman wants that. They just don't want it from every guy.
the day when you realize how degrading it is. You don't feel so hot afterwards when the men that are doing it to you don't care. You think men are going to want to fucking date you after they fucking cummed all over your fucking face? No,
Sometimes.
certain men of that caliber are scumbags and they don't give a shit, ladies. So you gotta watch out for the psycho cunts, fellas. And the fucking asshole dudes, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so fucking flabbergasted by the handwritten note Jessica sent me. Like, yo, you better send that pink jacket back. If you wanted it back so badly, you would have taken it when you left.
no, that's the thing. That's how they sink their hooks into you. They leave something there and then they're like, give me back my thing. I'll come and get it. That's what's going on.
I want to donate that
Women
pink
are always leaving their dignity at my house.
jacket to charity, and you can go fuck yourself. You gave me that copper cup as a gift. And if you claim to be about all these things that you said in your fucking handwritten notes with the care packages, you would have communicated it to me in the first place. I may be autistic, but I'm not stupid. And the fact that Jessica Boyle is trying to revenge porn a man who has Asperger's, knowing that man would never do that to her. I don't care how badly Jessica Boyle pissed me off. I would never fucking revenge porn her. Because it's childish, immature, and stupid.
I agree.
And illegal.
Yes, also illegal.
You know what I'm saying, YouTube? It's fucking childish, it's immature, and it's fucking stupid. And like, people have seen my cock a million times because of my YouTube trolls revenge porning me, so Jessica Boyle doing this crap is nothing original. But like, maybe a little scare in her pants to make her go, maybe I should back off from Josh a bit. He's more popular and more liked and better attractive than I am in life. Maybe I should fuck off.
Maybe. You should
That I'm more
fuck
attractive
off.
than Jessica Boyle is to the opposite sex, that I have more popularity, and more fame. And I'm like, I'm just trying to enjoy my...
I didn't watch any of this stream. This is my first time watching this one. Some weirdo in my comments from one of the videos I did recently, it was like, Cobra's video was so vulgar. I haven't heard anything more vulgar than the shit Jessica says here. Like,
oh yeah, nothing compared to Jessica.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff Cobra said, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't want to say about an ex of mine just because I don't want to give them the validation of knowing that I would even consider them a cunt. I would rather have them think I wasn't thinking of them at all than to call them a cunt or whatever. That's where it gets a little vulgar for my taste. But I mean, I'm laughing when he says it.
The Halloween season as peacefully as possible because I know as soon as Thanksgiving and Christmas hit, I'm going to be a fucking depressed bastard. Because all I want for the Christmas season is for everyone to have a decent holiday and for no issues.
Yeah, and King Cobra doesn't even like Christmas, and he just wishes you all a Merry Christmas.
The one time a year where it's like, can we just set aside pronoun differences and like political bullshit where it's like, oh, you're trans, you don't align with my Christian values, or like, oh, you're fucking Christian, well, you don't align with my blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm sick of it, of how fucking fake people are.
Bullshit.
Like, trans people deserve equality as much as everyone else, you know. As long as you're not a fucking sicko and you're not being a creep about it. Like, you can't expect people to respect your pronouns if you want to excuse gender away because it conveniently biology offends you. We're going to excuse biology because it offends us, but then conveniently bring it up when it comes to our pronouns. Go fuck yourself.
So now we're kind of sliding away from Jessica and into more of like a gender relations rant.
Between my psycho ex-girlfriend's bullshit and the psycho fucking extremist politics of LGBTQ, I said extremist politics because regular politics of LGBTQ are pretty straightforward. I'm like, you know what? I love watching lesbians fucking dyke it out. That shit's hot. I love watching big-tittied fucking hot lesbians.
My favorite thing about watching lesbians is when it's not like porn and you're watching lesbians actually have sex and one of the lesbians is obviously not into it and she's on her phone just looking up something while the other lesbian is like going to town on her, and it's like, it's so funny to me. That's my favorite thing about lesbians.
I'm a typical guy when it comes to that shit. That being said, if gays weren't...
Mine is that they're really into like home improvement stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very handy with power tools.
What do you like better, lesbians with interior improvements or gays? Because gays are great at the decoration and the feng shui of interior decorating.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about that.
There's a good balance there. If there was like a LGBTQ home decor company, I would trust them more than just two straight people.
I get married and have their own relationship. I'm like, you know what? Have at it, Haas. Like, I'm not into like people who think they're the opposite, you know, gender kind of thing. That's fucking stupid. It is. It's fucking stupid. I'm like, I don't care if you're trans. Just don't hit on me.
I don't even mind if you hit on me.
Because you say it's true, it doesn't make it true. I could say I'm Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. That don't make it true.
Well, tell that to Chris Chan.
Shattering woke culture and Jessica Boyle's view of reality. But Jessica Boyle needs to keep her fucking fat mouth shut about me. Because I'm sick and tired.
You don't know when to... He's doing a Sean Connery. You need to know when to leave it alone.
You got to give her an open hand slap.
Yep, an open hand slap, laddie. You need to know when to leave it alone.
With your hand open.
Yep.
They need to know when to leave it alone.
Or a rod no thicker than your thumb.
That wasn't Sean Connery, was it?
No. I don't know why he kept bringing this up, but I had a history teacher in high school that would always bring up how one time in America, there was like a handbook for beating your wife legally, and it was like a rod no thicker than your thumb. But what if you had like Andre the Giant thumbs? You know what I mean? Like,
right? That's where they say the term rule of thumb came from.
Yes.
And I think if you're Honor the Giant, then you just get to have a fucking baseball bat to beat your wife with.
Talk about me at the same time. It's like, who fucking cares? It's more exposure for my channel, and people can see how bitter and depressed she is about the breakup, and like, Josh is the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just sick and tired of all the harassment that I'm getting from Jessica Boyle and from my YouTube trolls. And then I gotta deal with woke culture on top of it harassing me because it's all about inclusivity.
I don't think you're being harassed by woke culture, though, Cobra. If someone's like woke shaming you, woke scolding you, it's probably just someone trolling you that doesn't even actually believe in that stuff. More than likely. They're always trying to get to you in one way or another, and that's one of the avenues that they'll use.
And you better fucking not harass people of a certain crowd, but they can harass you because you're cisgendered, straight, and white.
Yeah, what's up with that?
This kind of took a turn to something else.
Look, I didn't ask for my privilege. You didn't ask for your oppression. Could we not do this shit? Let's have a nuanced adult conversation about this without calling each other names or losing our shits. And they can't even have that because people end up getting canceled for this shit. And honestly, it's mentally exhausting, YouTube.
It's really just kind of exhausting.
Like, I don't gotta fucking sit here and read to you the letter that Jessica Boyle hand wrote that I ripped up and threw away and spat on in the garbage for you to know, because if you follow Jessica Boyle, you've seen all the crazy fucked off shit she says about me on her fucking YouTube page.
She does. Man, there was one night she was super wasted behind Walmart, and she was just like screaming and ranting and raving. And anyone that would have saw her there would have just been like, oh, that's a crazy woman. Because they probably didn't know she was streaming and screaming out of chat. And she's just like, oh, fuck you. And then she just started pissing. She had the camera focused like down at the ground. And all of a sudden you just start seeing this piss like flowing from the ground like forward. It's like, wow, she's like the troll of Walmart. She like lives in the woods behind Walmart.
If you ever see a woman pissing in public, like you need to remember that. You can't forget that. Once a woman pisses in public in front of you, you have to put her on a different human level.
That's interesting.
It's like you just have to like maybe you can still be cool with them, but you have to always remember, oh yeah, she just pisses in public.
I mean, I've pissed in public, but not like on a live stream behind Walmart. Like, if I really have to piss, I'll like run down an alleyway and go piss. You know what I mean?
I remember I was partying in LA and this girl just started pissing at the beach, like in the parking lot when we were walking to the beach. And I'm like, I will always remember you piss in public. Like, this is just, I don't fault her for it, but like, she's now in this whole other section of human beings. Like, you're like feral.
You know, it's easier for men than women because all we have to do is like face a wall and whip it out and pee really quick, but they have to like pull their shit down and squat and everything.
I don't consider hiding behind a bush or being around a corner public, you know? I consider that there's like a level of privacy. I'm talking where like they're drunk and they just squat in like open sight. I'm like, okay, this is
there is
same
a difference.
Thing with guys that just piss in open sight.
I wouldn't do that either.
Fuck?
No. I need at least like a little alcove to like duck down into, you know?
Maybe an alcove, a wall. There's been a few times on these meds that I'm taking where I have to piss and I'll like pull over. I'll have my car door open and I'll use the car door as like a little shield because there's nowhere else to go. And I'll like piss like where the off to the side, but the car door is blocking my area. Like, but it's like it's tough out there. You know, I know how it goes, but I see you piss in open sight in public, and I know there's something going on in your head that is like sociopathic level.
I have to piss all the time, especially if I'm like out drinking. And there's been so many times where there's this bus that I catch. Like if I'm hanging out in downtown Seattle in the Chinatown International District, there's a like an express bus, and there's a stop there's an alley right next to the stop, and I've peed in that alley so many times because I'm like, there's nowhere else for me to pee right now, and I know I'm going to be sitting on the bus for like 45 to 60 minutes. So I'm going to pee now in this alley. And sometimes I have company. Sometimes there's other people pissing. Sometimes there's people smoking crack in the alley. Who knows? It's like a grab bag. It's kind of fun.
One time I took a crap in the flower bin in front of Kid Valley.
I've never shit
Aurora and
outside.
145th.
I've never.
I was like binge drinking for 3 days straight. And I just had all you can drink beer and all you can eat pizza at a party. And my stomach was just floating and I was trying to get home. And I just got off the bus and there was nowhere to go. And this flower box was like toilet level. So I went and sat in it. And as I started crapping, a pimp drives by and stares me down. Brian Chen.
This is what diapers are for.
No, you know what? I don't want
style.
I don't want the pee pressed up against me like a diaper does when it's wet. I don't want that. You know, like and by the way, the only time I've like shit not in a bathroom was like when I was camping. You know, like I've never shit like in the city or anything like that. I guess you know what though? I also have to have wet wipes. I cannot use dry toilet paper because I get like pooper mache. You know what I mean? Like when you wipe with dry toilet paper and little chunks of the paper get stuck in the poo-poos in your butt. So it does the opposite of wiping. Like the paper doesn't remove the poop. The poop like holds the pieces of the paper and you get pooper mache. So now I only do
Klingons.
And you know I'm like a backpack guy. I always got the backpack. Now I have a pack of wet wipes in the backpack all the time.
Yeah, it's not bad to bring travel wipes on your persons.
Yes.
I used to carry dude wipes with me. I had a bunch of like single wrap dude wipes.
Yeah, that's like a brand, right? Dude wipes.
Yeah, they were like in their little packets, like the size of a packet of Kool-Aid or something. They were nice. I got them as a gift, and then when they ran out, I never bothered getting them again. But they were cool to have on hand.
Boyle, as much as I hate my YouTube trolls at this point, and I wish
Keyboard
you would
Cowboy
just
says, I've been digging holes and shitting in my yard the last few days because my water well needs to replenish.
Oh, no.
Shout out Keyboard Cowboy for doing what you got to do.
Fucking leave me alone. If you truly love Josh or crazy about him, stop talking about me on social media. And stop trying to fucking stalk me and stop trying to...
If you love somebody, set them free.
Come to Casper, Wyoming.
Do not come back to Casper, Wyoming, Jessica. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, you're not welcome there.
Go to Hell, Michigan. There is a city in Michigan called Hell.
But I wouldn't wish anybody go to Michigan.
That's what I'm saying. It is kind of fitting. That
go to hell.
The city called Hell is in Michigan.
To people is like, Jessica Boyle's crazy for Cobra's cock, otherwise she wouldn't be trying to come to Casper. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? Like, a lot of people can see past Jessica Boyle's bullshit. Sweet. I laid out some sardines for the neighborhood cats.
Oh, see? I have mixed feelings about feeding cats like that aren't yours, especially strays. Not because I don't want cats to eat, like, but you create like a breeding ground when you put like a centralized food place. Stray cats start breeding, and then you have more stray cats. We had when I lived in this apartment complex at one point, and someone would leave like these huge amounts of cat food out, and you just see like this huge pack of cats eating there, and you know they're fucking and reproducing and creating more stray cats. It actually does more harm than good.
We have so many coyotes here in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I got to figure out a way to deal with these guys, because at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. every night, I hear some small animal getting tore up in my backyard, and I don't know what I can do. Like, legally, probably nothing, but I feel like I need to start an illegal band of coyote hunters to deal with these things.
I'm always afraid
there's too many pets around here.
I'm always afraid one's gonna run away with my dog. Like,
yeah,
easily.
More of a
one of them tore
person.
up one of our cats. Stevie's cat a couple years ago got tore up.
Killed?
By a pack of coyotes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's
They
terrible.
tore up our poor Oscar bear, the one-eyed cat.
Yeah.
Got tore up by coyotes.
That's sad.
And we got a new cat, Vinny, and Jim's here, and there's neighbors got animals, and every night at like 3 or 4 a.m. I hear maybe a rabbit or something getting yip tore up by coyotes. It is not okay.
But I love animals. Excuse me.
Amplify
I know
the mind. If
there's a
you
lot of
want to
stray
join my
cats running
band of
around my
coyote
neighborhood.
hunters, let me know.
And I don't know if they're strays or if they're just cats wandering around doing their thing. So what I did was I took like 3 cans of sardines and dumped it out in a special spot, so that when the cats see it, they smell it, they're like, Cobra's a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
That the cats literally say that to each
Part
other.
of my whole vibe with living at the Conquistadors is making friends with the stray cats and the animals that would wander freely around outside.
Anita Pooh says rat
You know, when
population
Jessica-
is booming in the Pacific Northwest. I haven't seen that many rats here.
Oh, tons of rats in Bellevue. Like there's little like burrows under all the backyard fences here because rats like burrow under them. Yeah, there's all kinds of rats over here.
I wonder if the coyotes are keeping the rats down in my neighborhood.
Maybe.
I see bunnies all the time.
I see
here.
bunnies too. Yep, bunnies,
time.
rats.
Oil contributes. My YouTube trolls didn't help the situation, but when Jessica Boyle is sitting there contributing to me getting kicked out of my apartment, I'm like, you know what? I don't need this shit. You're going to spread lies about me when we're fighting and then broadcast our fights on YouTube.
That's what she
And then
did.
sit there and claim you're
Oh,
all
shit.
about communication. It's like Jessica Boyle is full of fucking shit, dude.
She's not to be trusted. She's not to be reasoned
And
with.
Jessica Boyle fucking loves attention from social media, but
She
she
does.
ain't gonna like what I have to say. She'll talk
Hey,
all the shit she want to talk about me. It don't matter. Believe who you want to believe. But you see how psychotic Jessica Boyle is. So I don't gotta prove anything. Scouts Honor, YouTube.
Scouts Honor. You have no honor.
No, I
You
gotta
are without
keep these
honor.
pornographic videos of me and Jessica Boyle as evidence, rather than
Not
just
cool.
deleting them because I'm over her shits. But if Jessica Boyle is revenge porning me, you know, and I don't know if it's a YouTube troll hacking my computer and trying to frame her to be the victim, or if it's actually her doing it. And that's the shitty thing of it, is I don't know. But I want to assume the latter of the two and be like, Jessica Boyle's a psycho cunt, and she needs to fucking leave me alone.
Leave him alone.
His room turned blue almost.
If you're a dude, you know.
Does he have a mood room? Does it reflect like
I don't know
now?
if-
Now he's somber. You know.
I think maybe it just got dusk at his house.
Now,
Yeah,
even if
probably.
you're long distance or not, don't create self-made porn of you and your other half. Because if y'all break up, that can fucking lead to some like disastrous shit. At least in my experience. Ah, fuck. Fuck, I bit my tongue when I
Oh
sneezed.
no, dude, that sucks.
Fucking whore.
Ow, dude. I bit my tongue really hard eating a slice of pizza one time.
Ah.
I bled like everywhere.
Well, let's take a hit of cherry pipe tobacco, and then as soon as you fucking sneeze, you'll bite your tongue on top of it.
Cool. Cherry pipe tobacco?
Yep. With his Gandalf pipe.
Like a true wizard.
Oh, fucking shit. All the shit Jessica Boyle's talked about me, it just shows you how bitter she is about the breakup, and I'm handling it better than she is. And that she needs to get the fuck over me and get some therapy, dude.
Get
Oh,
some
the cameo
therapy.
shout out. Fucking sweet.
Sweet. Cobra is the bigger man. Jessica's just bitter, man.
I am going to care about Jessica to a point because I did have sex with her and that emotional connection you experience with doing
He
it.
caught the feels.
Number one reason why I hate sickos. I don't gotta explain myself. But outside of that, it's like, you know what? I wish Jessica Boyle would fucking leave me the fuck alone.
Yep.
Sitting there
Leave the
slashing
king
and
alone.
bandering and fucking bashing my name on social media. That's totally the way to fucking win your guy's heart back, right? Fuck right off.
Fuck off. Sometimes you miss that Wendy's.
Sucks. Did Jessica Boyle not think, oh, hey, you know, a lot of people follow Cobra and that this wouldn't immediately get back to him? That's the thing of it. She did this shit deliberately to get a reaction. And then when the reaction she gets is, you're roasted by the man you want to fuck still, and you get arrested for revenge porning, maybe she'll rethink her life.
That is something to think about. And that's the end of that video. Wow. That is something. You know what? I want to, since you mentioned this, I literally just saw this story on the local news yesterday. Check this out.
She got one over here on the side, and then up The worst injuries were under her neck.
Yeah, look, that dog got
10-year-old
fucked
Chia,
up by a
Shih
coyote.
Tzu poodle mix is lucky to be alive.
None of her organs were injured. It's like a total miracle.
Last Wednesday, a coyote got into this yard and attacked Chia. It took off with her down the street. A neighbor saw it happen and alerted both John and Naria Santa Lucia. They jumped in their car and chased after the coyote.
The coyote was actually not too far down, still holding Chia. We honked the horn. Shine the bright lights on the dog.
The coyote dropped her.
The coyote dropped her.
Yeah.
And Naria scooped her up.
Chia was rushed to the emergency
Look
room.
at that poor fucking dog.
Okay, but she's still very
Yeah, coyotes are vicious.
shaken up.
Good girl. Good girl.
John and Naria posted to Nextdoor to warn others.
These are all the different comments from John's post on alerting people.
Hundreds of people commented, many sharing their own stories of coyote encounters.
One
Yeah.
coyote scaled a 8-foot-tall cinder block fence and did get off with her friend's 12-pound family member. They witnessed.
Wow, 12 pounds too. Like my dog weighs like 3 pounds.
It.
Yeah, I really want to start an anti-coyote group.
I looked it up.
If there's a way to,
I looked it up. Like they have to either be on your property or you have to like be licensed to like hunt them in other places.
Department of Fish and Wildlife takes reports
one-
on coyote
one-
attack.
I will get that license. 2, they're always on my property. We had a fucking they had dug out a den in the backyard by the creek. Because there's a creek back there.
Mm-hmm.
They dug out a den where they were like living.
Sure.
They were living in the backyard.
They're coyotes. Yeah, they have a den.
Yeah, we got kids here. Like there's babies, there's kitties, there's doggies.
I think they're less likely to attack a kid, but sure, I mean, you can't ever rule it
I don't
out.
want to give them a chance.
Yep.
They say coyotes
they come up. There was right after they killed Oscar the cat that lived here at this house with me, one-eyed Oscar the cat. There was a band of 4 of them that were walking by the house a couple days after they killed Oscar, and I was getting out of my car and I had a handful of meat, and they all like pressed up on me, and I like ran. I was like, "Get out of here!" and barked at them, and all of them but one ran away, and the one was like sizing me up like he was gonna come get me, and then he turned around and realized his pack was gone, so he ran off too. But I heard a story from like the neighbor app they were talking about.
Yeah.
One of our neighbors was walking, and a pack of 10 of them came after him and his dog, and they like chased him. They didn't leave him alone. It's a grown ass man and his dog.
Yeah.
Common in
They're
many
crazy
large
out here.
wooded green spaces and city
Joe and I have
parks,
hunted
especially
coyotes
at night
in the middle of the
and
night when they're barking in the backyard. I met Joe upstairs. He had a baseball bat. I was downstairs with a sword because we heard them attacking something in our backyard. And we almost became a hunting group that night.
early morning. There are signs up alerting people to coyotes at Discovery Park. And if you ever encounter a coyote, don't run. Stand tall, be loud, and don't afraid to throw things.
The more
Don't
you
afraid.
haze the coyote-
I think she means don't be afraid, but hey.
coyotes
Don't
and make sure they're
afraid.
not
Don't
welcome
afraid.
in The areas that that people are, the less likely they are.
JTL
to
Poker says
attack.
you simply
So,
just need to carry protection and then you have nothing to worry about. It's not about me being protected. It's about the small animals and children in the neighborhood that I worry about.
you're better off as a community.
And as a family,
I
knowing
might,
their dogs
I might need to
survived
break
such
out
a
the
scary
IRL stream and
situation.
become a coyote hunter for IRL streaming.
All right. So the next thing I wanted to go over is this Piers Morgan has these like shit fest panels where he gets way too many people arguing at once. So he has a panel of like former WWE employees talking about Vince McMahon, and Vince Russo is one of them. And then he brings a surprise run-in into the conversation.
Oh, I love this.
Which you'll see. Yep.
He's gotta poop.
It's cast doubt on Vince McMahon's career and legacy.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He didn't care about your family.
He put all those females in a situation where they could not say no.
They probably put their own self-respect on.
It's like she's on this and she hardly says anything. I guess she was like a backstage interviewer at one point. I don't even recognize her.
The back burner, because ultimately that's what you want to hear from the bosses of all bosses.
As soon as I came through the curtain, he was there. And he was there to let me know just how mad he was at me.
Hey, well, look, in classic WWE fashion.
Maven
all
has
these guys still want to work for WWE.
Maven has a pretty successful YouTube channel where he just kind of spills the dirt from his days as a wrestler.
He got in at a good time.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well.
It's time to introduce to the Uncensored Ring a surprise guest.
I called
There
you
you
out
go.
30 years ago.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is if you looked at it fairly, and
This guy's delusional.
That was a good run-in, Piers.
Vince
Pierce
McMahon
smiling
is
like
the
that
dynamic
pisses me off.
He is kind of smug looking.
powerhouse behind the
Smug
biggest
prick.
sports entertainment franchise in history. World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, once a regional patchwork of modest family entertainment, is now a global juggernaut worth $6.8 billion. It merged with Dana White's UFC a year ago. Some even credit Vince McMahon and WWE with teaching a certain political heavyweight.
Okay, I gotta
bombastic-
pause real quick, Ben. Roger Wilco says, I've seen packs of coyotes walking in my neighborhood in Oregon. They're looking for cats and small dogs. One will distract, act like it's making friends, while the others swoop in on the sides. If that's true, that is psycho. Oh my
timing
God.
And how to work a baying crowd.
I'm stronger than you.
Definitely not true, especially at this point.
I think it is true that he thinks he's stronger than Vince
Right.
McMahon.
Right. At this point, Vince McMahon was jacked. Insanely huge.
Vince is stronger than Trump now. I'm 100%.
Oh, yeah,
certain.
now? Even now, yes.
Yeah.
A match
I have to break it up because WWE is just notorious flaggers.
in WrestleMania.
What? Jerry Lawler's what? It's like, yeah, you know.
What?
Well, now a sensational Netflix documentary has cast doubt on Vince McMahon's career and legacy, airing claims about ruthless practices, the steroid culture, and according to one recent lawsuit, depraved and humiliating acts. Many say he couldn't decipher himself from his pontifical on-screen personality. The question in all this, though, is a bit like the wrestling itself. Where is fact and where is fiction? A question that McMahon himself struggles to answer.
The lines of reality are very blurred in our business. The individual loses all.
Have you watched any of this?
The documentary?
Yeah.
I watched it all. Yeah,
I've
it was
watched like
not
half of
nearly was not nearly as like revealing as I thought it was going to be. It's straight up just like a Vince McMahon documentary that mentions the fact that he's been a little creepy to these women.
Yeah.
Sense of who they
Currently open
really
for
are.
investigation.
My name is not Vince. My name is Mr. McMahon.
Mr. McMahon.
Well, to debate the Ultimate Showman's ultimate legacy, we've invited some of McMahon's biggest supporters and biggest critics into the Uncensored arena. Marvin Hoffman is a former WWE.
He calls him Marvin at first. I think he gets corrected eventually because he starts saying Maven, but he calls him Marvin for like the first few minutes of this
Star, now
interview.
YouTuber, Jonathan Coachman, was a WWE announcer and is now an elite sports analyst and host of Behind the Turnbuckle. Vince Russo was the head writer during the infamous Attitude Era of WWE. And Charlie Orlott, an ex-WWE backstage interviewer and now host of Outkick the Morning on Outkick.com. So welcome to all of you. A very high-powered panel for what is a very high-powered saga in many ways. Jonathan, you worked very closely with Vince McMahon for a long period of time. How accurate is this new series that's come out about him?
Well, I think it's fairly accurate, Piers, and thank you very much for having me on the show. It's great to see all the other guys and ladies that I worked with. I think it's accurate, but I think also that when you're talking to people like us who've been inside, and I spent a total of 13 years in the WWE, and also my character on camera was Vince's assistant. And I think that though the term softball came to mind, I know Vince was very upset that it was a hit piece. I didn't find that at all. I think it was fairly accurate when you talk about the time we spent on the road, the things he made us do. And I think the overriding sentiment, Piers, that came out of that was the fact that none of us, at least not with me, did I ever feel like I could say no. And I only said no one time in my entire 13 years with Vince. And
Did he get butt pumped by Vince?
And when I look
Did he
back
ever
on it now,
poo
that's
on
one
somebody
of the things
with
I
Vince?
regret the most. But as far as accuracy, I think it was accurate, but I certainly don't think they went far enough as far as all the things that he made a lot of us do.
Okay,
That's a
so
realistic review.
What
Yeah, I
is
would
the
agree
real
with
Vince
that.
McMahon like? For those who don't know him, in the documentary, you can see a hardworking, very committed, passionate, very successful business brain at work. You can also see a ruthless, egotistical, depraved monster who'll pretty much screw anyone, including his own family, to get what he wants.
Literally
So from
and
your perspective,
figuratively.
Jonathan, where's the truth?
I think there's a little bit of both. I saw Vince McMahon that I would deal with it when we're shooting skits. When we're shooting.
And by the way, when we're done with this, we'll go over Jessica's stream that she just did, that just wrapped up.
A lot of things that he was a very nice man, and he would do things very quietly to take care of a lot of guys.
Help us out. Help us reach the goal by starting one last tip train to bring us home here. Thank you so much.
Make a living on their own, and you can't walk into a bank after you've been a WWE superstar and ask for a job. The other part of Vince, though, is he doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He didn't care about your family. He didn't care about there was one time, Piers, that I was home on Christmas Eve, and I got a call to fly back to Connecticut from Kansas because Vince wanted to shoot a skit to be in the show on Monday so then he could spend time with his family. And though you talk about the regrets, that's the Vince that I think I remember the most, is as long as it was good for him and good for the company, he didn't care about the fact that if we were with our parents or with our kids or with our families. And I think you'll get that sentiment across the board. So I think it's somewhere in the middle. But certainly, as I look back, a guy that I used to respect and was incredibly loyal for, I would.
So many wrestlers from like the Hogan era, like almost viewed Vince as like a father figure.
Hates Russo. He has some very funny attacks on him.
Yes, well, Jim Cornette hates Russo more than anybody else.
Russo is kind of a loser.
He's like a Jersey douchebag, like that's how I see him.
Never be that guy today.
He was right place, right time. With the amount of talent and the necessity for WWE to push boundaries going on at that point in time, I think anybody could have had his job.
Interesting. Vince, I mean, you were one of the writers, obviously. You helped blur that line between fact and fiction. My sons were very into WWE for a few years, and I took them to a few of the events, and it was incredible entertainment. But I did have to explain to them that, you realize this is not real. But then to
Why
a
do
degree,
you have to explain it to them, Pierce? You sound like an idiot explaining it to the kids. You realize this is not real. Yes, Pierce. Do you realize it's not the point of the fucking show? Dumb shit.
Get Pierce in the ring and then have him say it's not real afterwards.
It's the only stupid people feel the need to explain to people wrestling is not real. You sound like the biggest goober when you explain it.
Real, and the people were being thrown around. They were entertaining. It was highly choreographed. They were all well trained.
It's more improvised than choreographed. Like choreographed suggests like every move is planned,
and everyone.
And that's
usually it isn't usually.
Yeah, like unless you're like Randy Savage, like to like choreograph every move in a lot of his matches. But
it's very much like a dance in that each move is practiced. Like you almost every move you do is practiced, or at least how to like follow a move is practiced.
Yeah, but then like one of the two guys is calling the spots like when it happens.
Was earning good money.
Somebody usually leads the dance,
like dancing,
or the match. Yeah.
What seems to have unraveled since is that behind the sort of family entertainment vibe that it was generating,
it turns into a shit fest.
Was certainly not
when the run-in happens. Just wait.
Conducive.
And you watch the documentary, so you're going to be familiar with the person they bring in.
The family entertainment. What's your perspective on it?
Well, Piers, I will tell you one thing really bothered me when I left, and to back up Coach, I was the head writer during the Attitude Era. We were very successful during that time. The reason I left Vince was because I was looking to relocate my family because I was putting in so many hours. My wife was raising my kids by herself. And Vince McMahon looked me in the eye and said, Vince, I don't see what the problem is. You make enough money now, hire a nanny to raise your kids. Those were his exact words. I was on the phone with WCW the next day because I was no longer going to work for a man like that. He showed me his true colors. But when
there was this e-girl that would like go to wrestling events that Rikishi was at, like recently even, and like hold up a sign asking him to stink face her She's like an attractive e-girl.
Let's go.
She wanted to get stink-faced.
Was writing the Attitude Era, and what the Attitude Era was all about, Piers, was blue collar versus white collar. That's what it was all about. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince McMahon. Austin was telling McMahon every single thing a blue collar worker would want to tell his boss. Well, when I left, all of a sudden there was a shift. And that shift was all of a sudden Vince is on camera with all these beautiful women, making out with them, kissing them, groping them. They're groping him. Now, Piers, you got to understand something, and everybody here will understand this. As a writer, I could have never written any of our female characters in that position because they couldn't have said no. They would have had to say yes because it was with Vince McMahon, and they would have thought if they didn't do this, they were going to be fired. So when I saw this type of behavior after I left, it never sat well with me. Now, I don't know if that came from Vince or the writers, but like I said, he put all those females in a situation where they could not say no because they may have felt like
the whole I always felt really uncomfortable with the oh god, what's her name, the Canadian wrestler, the Trish Stratus. Yeah, when he was like, get naked, god damn it, I'll bark like a dog.
Yeah, she did good though. She was
a team player. Yeah.
Job was on the line.
Okay, well, Charlie, you are the female of this panel. What's your
and you were
view
supposed to feel
of Vince
uncomfortable.
McMahon?
That was like
Who is
the point of it.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I didn't always get such a clear look at who Vince McMahon was. I didn't have to be in the writers' meetings like a lot of people did. I basically would show up to work, be given a script, say, this is what you're doing. And I would generally communicate with other people on the writing staff and my bosses, which mainly included Michael Cole. He was the main one. If I had an issue, I would talk to him rather than directly talking to Vince. But what I will say is that even in my position where I wasn't interacting with Vince on a regular basis, I think like everybody else, I always aspired to get validation from Vince McMahon, because when you did cross paths with him in the back of, the arena or in the hallway, if he would say something to you, it would mean something, even a simple hello, because Vince a lot of times wouldn't even address you. And if he would address you, it means he either found you were doing something correctly or he liked how you were going about things. And especially when you got a good job. That was like, oh my goodness, Vince just told me good job. What did I just do that I need to now replicate each time moving forward? So I would say there was a lot of pressure there. Even though I didn't talk to him a lot, when he did speak to me, it definitely resonated. And I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I definitely think that's what happened with a lot of the people in the company, and especially these people that were put in situations that were maybe more uncomfortable than others. If they were getting this validation from Vince in those situations, they probably put their own self-respect on the back burner, because ultimately that's what you want to hear from the bosses of all bosses at WWE.
I mean, it was a very sort of high testosterone environment, wasn't it? Very macho.
High testosterone.
In your time there, did you feel that it was all consensual in terms of the way women were treated? Later, of course, it emerged that Vince McMahon had paid off a number of women millions of dollars to settle lawsuits. Did that surprise you, or was he the kind of character where actually that was not that surprising?
What I've always said is if you do not have a thick skin, you do not belong working in the WWE. I do find that to be the case in a lot of areas in television. I think as a woman, you must have thick skin. Were there many instances where I probably could have gone to HR over something small, or even something that probably had a little bit more oomph to it? Yes. Was I the person to do that? No. Now, I'm not saying that I was,
She's like, I'm not a snitch.
Mistreated in any sort of way, but there were definitely things that went on at WWE that if an outsider were to get a glimpse on the inside, they would say, what is going on here? How are people working in these specific conditions? But it's just one of those things that you kind of went with. You were working with the WWE. I'm interviewing men who are wearing nothing but like tiny little Speedos on. So it's kind of like the job that you sign up for.
Okay, Marvin, you were sacked by Vince McMahon. He obviously had
Did you call him Marvin or Marvin?
It sounds like Marvin, but I think he's saying Marvin. I don't think he knows how to pronounce his name, but he does it later correctly, so someone must have corrected him at some point.
Many successful business people. What's your view of him?
Well, Vince, I echo
He's the only actual wrestler there. And he
Coach
was like
had a couple matches, right?
Yeah, I mean, like as an actual like full-time.
Yeah. Oh
wrestler.
no, I know. I was trying to think if Coach ever did a match or not.
Sure.
I thought he did.
Everyone's sentiment so far, and just like Coachman said, he said no to Vince one time in 13 years. I never knew saying no was an option. When Vince said something, it was pretty much law. I got under his, I got on his bad side one time, and it was right before we were getting ready to go on an extended break. And an extended break for wrestlers might be an additional 2 or 3 days at home.
You know, I notice a lot of people don't recognize Maven these days, and part of that is like, obviously he's a little older and he's not in as good a shape as he used to be, but also he plucks his eyebrows now. He used to have 2 big caterpillars above his eyes, and he plucks them.
What the fuck you doing, Maven? Grow your eyebrows out, Maven.
Yeah, go look him up.
Lost the gimmick.
Go look up an old picture of Maven. He had way thick eyebrows when he was wrestling.
But it was right before one of these breaks. I had an average match. Wasn't a stinker, wasn't a horrible match, but just wasn't great. And as soon as I came through the curtain, he was there. And he was there to let me know just how mad he was at me. And he told me, during your time off, you need to decide if this is the place you want to be. Now, there's that side of Vince, but there's also the side of Vince where after a 3-year battle with cancer, the night my mom passed, I didn't get a call from his secretary. I didn't get a call from his wife. I got a call from Vince telling me exactly how, just how sorry he was for my loss. So it's good and bad with the man.
What do you think the general view, Maven, is of this? I mean, when I watched the documentary series, depending who you're listening to, a lot of the bigger stars talk quite fondly of him. And yet we know there's been a slew of scandals around it. We know he's effectively been pushed off the scene for now anyway, no longer has the family ownership that he had, etc. Is it right that he's being depicted as a kind of villain now, or do you think that's been overplayed?
Well, I'll answer your first question, obviously, first. The stars who have a fond view of Vince is a very transactional individual.
Right.
If you're making him money, and a lot of these stars were making him millions, he loves you. And you talked about me getting let go by Vince, and I agree. When you see Vince backstage, he'll ignore you. If you mean nothing to him or nothing to his show, he'll pass you by and won't give you the time of day. But Vince made his bed. He's unfortunately now lying in it.
It's like Amber Heard's bed, right? Because there's poo-poo in
know that there's probably more
something. Yeah, Vince and Amber Heard would probably get along great.
Yeah,
to come, and like most people, I'm simply sitting back waiting for whatever is going to unearth itself.
Well, you guys obviously were all on the inside. I guess that the person who could be best described as Vince McMahon's nemesis was the New York Post journalist.
I saw a video earlier today, and it was Kane and Undertaker sitting with Donald Trump doing like an official endorsement of him.
Yeah.
And I guess Batista was on Jimmy Kimmel and did this video about how Trump was like a pussy and stuff. So yeah, they mentioned him.
Yeah, they're like, who are you going to vote for? Kane, Undertaker, and Donald Trump, or Kamala Harris, Batista, and Tim Walz?
Phil Mushnick, who's been running a slew of exposés about bad practices at WWE. I want to give a little clip of an example of what I'm talking about.
I don't know why as vendetta. They really didn't want to look. They didn't want to know. Against me, I don't know why.
Look at Vince McMahon has weird eyebrows too.
Vince is guilty of.
As guilty as Vince McMahon is, I take his side over Phil Mushnick. Phil Mushnick might be completely right, but I don't care. I don't side with Phil Mushnick on
He
any
seems
of this.
like he's insane.
He's seen all the craziness of Vince McMahon over the years, and he thought he probably had 5 to 10 times where he thought he was going to take down the WWE and Vince McMahon's sadistic empire, and he failed every time. You are a mushnik.
Betting,
Phil
the
Mushnick.
Ring Boy scandal. At best, he's guilty of rank neglect. This was the biggest guy in cable TV. Nobody wanted to look a little deeper. Why isn't
nobody
these
cared.
stories page 1? Millions of kids worship these guys, and they're dropping dead. Where's the news? And again, McMahon seemed to escape that.
Jonathan, what's your view of Mr. Mushnick and all his exposés?
Well, I think when you write for the New York Post, and I came in long after a lot of the things he was just talking about that in the documentary.
The only person who was around like back in the day is Russo. Everyone else was like in the 2000s. You know,
Coachman was just at the
end of the 90s, maybe like
end of the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
But when you write for the New York Post and your entire job is to write negatively about somebody, he knew that writing negatively
hang on. Hang on. I write for the New York Post, and that's not my directive.
Russo's like, yeah.
I'm a columnist.
Wait.
I'm a columnist for the New York
Yeah.
Post. No one tells me to be negative. I can write what I like. So I would
I'm
take
saying,
issue with
but
that.
in the 90s. Okay, well, I'll say back in the 90s when he's writing about that, I'll say specific to this.
Wow. Jonathan Coachman debuted in WWE like a week before the end of the 90s.
Yeah, I just looked it up too.
Yeah, December 23rd, 1999. Yeah. So
I apologize to you, Piers, but he started writing about this, and these are things that people will resonate with, that they'll latch onto. And I will tell you this, that in my entire 13 years of being in the WWE, I never saw Phil Mushnick even try to come backstage to see what the atmosphere was like. I never saw him ask to have a sit down with any of us. And I think that sometimes when you're a journalist, especially, and you're trying to sell newspapers and you're trying to sell your column and you know that people need to read it for you to keep that, I think that's where Phil has always fallen on. And he's the one guy, because I love a good back and forth. I love a good and a bad. And I would never sit up here and completely defend Vince. But I will say that Mr. Mushnick in particular, because we used to talk about him all the time, because it seemed like every other article that he would write was something about Vince, something about the WWE. And there are a lot of good things that I got out of the WWE. I have 2 beautiful children that without the WWE, I wouldn't have today. I had.
Are you saying Vince impregnated your wife?
Yes.
That I have, the way that I do my job, I got my WWE. So every article, I don't remember anything that Phil ever wrote that had one positive thing to say about the WWE or Vince. And if you're that kind of a writer, I don't have a lot of respect for it.
Vince, would you agree with that
Piers,
about Phil
I
Mushnick?
I have to jump in here because I've got a personal story, and I guarantee you Mr. Mushnick does not remember this. I never forgot this. In 1991, when the steroid trial was going down and Vince McMahon was facing jail time, after he was found innocent of all charges, Vince and the WWE had a steroid symposium where they were going to change policies, and the media was invited, including Phil Mushnick. I went to that steroid symposium because I was media at the time. I recorded the entire symposium. Phil Mushnick, who made a living out of burying Vince McMahon, was invited, did not attend. Not only did he not attend, he wrote a story in the New York Post the following day filled with untruths. How do I remember that? Because I got on the phone with Phil Mushnick and I said, bro, and I was not working for the WWE. I was a journalist. I said, bro, you are full of crap. I have every word that was said on
Vince Russo, I was a journalist.
As low as I think of Vince Russo, Phil Mushnick is so far below Vince Russo to me.
So
dunk on him, Vinny Roo.
Out of this panel, though, like besides Piers Morgan, would Russo be at the bottom?
Yeah, I put him below the girl I know nothing about.
Yeah.
He didn't say some of the things that you said. So again, as a journalist, I ask the question, what kind of a journalist are you if you're not going to go to a symposium you're invited to, and then you're going to report on it with false information? From that point on, Phil Mushnick had zero credibility with me.
Okay, and Charlie, your views of Phil Mushnick?
Well, I was not a part of WWE when Phil Mushnick was really doing most of his dirty work. But what I will say is just by garnering a lot of knowledge throughout the course of the documentary, it seems like
it's funny because she has nothing to do with any of this. I think they just wanted like a pretty face to be on here or something. I don't know.
She's a female point of view. I think that's important.
She didn't work there for very long, and she was like a backstage interviewer, like nothing. And she said herself, nothing like really that.
He was the type of guy,
he
she
didn't get
had it out for
specific.
Vince. He would throw whatever he could at the wall, see what stuck, because ultimately there were going to be certain things that stuck. I'm sure there were certain people who would side with a guy like Phil and say, yes, I can back up your story. But then there's other people who would have the complete opposite to say. So Phil just seems kind of like one of those dirty journalists who, no matter what, his goal was to bring down Vince McMahon. And I believe that, Vince, he definitely played the bad guy well. He said in the documentary, we all heard, there's nothing I wouldn't do for this business. I regret nothing in my life. So when you say things like that, it makes Phil's job a whole lot easier. But judging by what Phil said, I mean, there were definitely upsides to Vince McMahon, and I think a lot of people have explained it well. I do think that ultimately it was about Vince and his bottom line, but there are lots of stories about Vince really taking care of his people. And I also got to know that side of Vince as well. Not personally necessarily. I wasn't ever looking for personal favors from Vince, but from people that I was close with in the WWE, I heard those things.
Okay, Maven, any thoughts yourself about Phil Mushnick?
Yeah, I think Mr. Mushnick had Vince in his journalistic crosshairs. I think he found an easily attainable target, someone he could go after, someone who was big enough, large enough, ran a large enough company, a worldwide company. So he knew whenever he wrote anything, it was going to garner attention. And I'm not saying everything he wrote about Vince was incorrect. Hell, it probably wasn't. A lot of the stuff he wrote was accurate, but there's a lot of things that you just don't see on the day-to-day operations when you're working with someone, on 365 days a year. And I just don't think Mr. Mushnick was ever looking for anything good out of Vince. He was only looking.
And he doesn't have to, right? He doesn't have to look for anything good. Phil Mushnick could talk trash about Vince every article all day long, and that's fine. But the entire thing is he was completely ineffective. That's why I dislike Phil Mushnick. What a drip. What a loser. You spent decades going against Vince McMahon and nothing you did mattered, pussy.
I mean, like, it's expensive to be federally prosecuted. You know what I mean? Like, Vince paid a pretty penny for that kind of stuff.
But that wasn't Phil Mushnick, right? That was Vince getting caught doing what he was doing.
No. His reporting on Zahorian or whatever the doctor's name was got the feds looking at Vince after that happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Vince beat the feds.
Look, in classic WWE fashion, it's time to introduce to the Uncensored Ring a surprise guest. Because flying in off the top rope, hopefully not with a steel chair, is the New York Post legendary columnist and Vince McMahon nemesis, Phil Mushnick, who's been listening to all of that. Phil, welcome.
He looks high.
You crying, Phil?
Yeah, I don't know if he's crying or if he's high.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been called a few
Enjoyed
things.
it all.
Called a few things there by your fellow panelists. Phil, do you want to respond?
Well, the first thing I'd ask Piers is, can any of your panelists name one thing I wrote about McMahon, the WWF, exposing a...
See, he still calls it WWF. So, I mean, like, he is living in the 80s, basically.
Grow up, Phil Mushnick.
On McMahon's watch, somebody who was just said, Russo, I got 2 kids. How about the kids who were sexually abused who didn't have parents? And they were all in McMahon's purview. They were
Phil, we just said a lot of what
you
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. A lot of what you said
don't
is true.
stop me.
Nobody's saying
Did
that.
I stop
Phil,
you? Surprise,
you brought
surprise.
up my kids.
You're a sellout. You're a sellout. You have no moral fiber.
A sellout. See, and Piers, this is what I'm talking about. I've never met this man. I've never met this man, and he said I have no moral fiber. He doesn't know me.
He wanted proof. Coach, he wanted proof. I just supplied the proof.
How come?
I called you out. I called
There
you
you
out
go.
30 years ago when you made it up. You made
never
stuff up, Phil, 30 years ago,
Keep
bro.
shouting, 'cause you're a fraud.
You're going to sit there and say
You
we
were the
haven't
guy-
COVID because maybe you're senile, bro.
Well, no,
maybe
we
you're
talked
too
a
bad.
lot.
Maybe you just
We
got
talked a
out
lot.
of the chair, bro. You reported on stuff that was
Don't
never
call me
said,
bro.
I'll call you whatever. I'll call you a liar then. How about that, bro? I'll call you a liar. You reported on
Knock
stuff
yourself
that was
out.
never said. I recorded
You have no credibility.
You went in
You
the New
used to
York
be-
Post.
you used to be
recorded
a ga-
stuff that
you-
was never said. Yeah, what? What, bro? I was what? I used to be what?
See, like another thing is there's that weird delay when people are in a call together, and that just causes them to all like step on each other, you know. So it's even worse because of that.
I used to be, bro.
Are you
Tell
going
me,
to let
Phil.
me speak?
Oh, go ahead.
Are you
Tell me
gonna
what I used to
speak? You let me speak?
Go ahead.
Sure,
what
Phil,
I used
go
to be.
ahead.
Did
Phil.
you once
I want
Did
let
you
Phil
once write a
speak.
newsletter
Let Phil
about
speak.
pro wrestling? Did you
Yes.
run once? And weren't you very, very anti-McMahon, right? I got
I
the
was
copies, so
very
don't
fair.
lie.
Yes, show us the copies right now, Phil. Show us the copies right now.
I have
Anti-McMahon, my
right
butt,
here,
bro.
you
I was
moron.
fair. I was a fair. That's why I went to the symposium to hear his side of the story, because guys like you were burying him. So I was, there's got to be another side to the story. That's why I went and you didn't go, because you didn't want to hear the other side of the story, because you had to sell newspapers, bro. You're the fraud. And you embarrassed me to even call myself a journalist.
Okay, let me jump in as a good
I
referee.
can't-
Good referee would.
I just woke, Piers.
Phil.
I woke up one morning and I was covering mainstream sports, and I decided to fabricate all these fantasies about the WWF. I didn't even watch it. I thought I knew I could see where it was going. The steroids and the prurient content. I could see it was getting really ugly and really vicious and just sexually inappropriate.
Not in the 80s. That was more of a like mid to late 90s thing. Like the Ring Boy scandal and shit, it was still pretty family friendly, all things considered.
And that was not public image. That was very privatized.
Yeah.
For anybody, and I just decided I'll make some stuff up. Or did I get calls from ring boys? Well, Piers, can you give me a second? I'll tell you how my inclusion began. I read the New York Times, 2 paragraphs. Hulk Hogan was going to be dismissed from the Dr. Zahorian drug trial, Vince's the wrestling doctor, because it might be injurious to his public image and career. And I'm saying, well, what kind of... But his career is built on take your vitamins, say your prayers, and suddenly he's exploding on drugs. You can see it. It was obvious, except maybe to
It was
to
obvious.
Russo, that
What a
he was
shitty argument you're making, Phil. They gave you the mic and now you're stepping over yourself. You could see it. It was obvious. It was if it was obvious is not the point you want to make.
Say your prayers, take your vitamins, brother.
Let me ask you, Phil.
And he was.
Let me ask you, Phil.
And then the letters came. They had never read anything like that in the mainstream media, and they all read, "You don't know the half of it." So I didn't decide to like throw away.
And don't you think take your vitamins is the exact thing someone who's taking steroids should tell kids? They got to start somewhere. Start with vitamins.
Supplements.
Work your way up to steroids.
I remember when we were watching the Teddy Hart stuff, and he was like, "We all took supplements."
Yeah, take your vitamins. Supplements are vitamins.
Yeah,
Steroids are vitamins.
That's what I thought. Like, I thought he was talking about like zinc and stuff like that. I didn't realize he meant, gear.
Phil, if you want my opinion, I think you're an excellent reporter who's been doing excellent reporting. I guess the question is, as the panelists said before they knew you were coming on, whether you had a vendetta against Vince McMahon. He called you once on Monday Night Raw a self-righteous, egotistical, miserable son of a bitch. So there clearly was no love lost on his part either. But what is your genuine
but you
view?
don't think I don't know that's a work?
Of course, but my question was...
But that's a work.
Of course, but my question
What's
for
a
you
work?
is...
That he called you a self-righteous son of a bitch? I think that was a shoot, brother.
No, of course.
I think Vince thought you were a self-righteous son of a bitch.
It's a kind of Trump-style
God
trash
damn
talk.
it, pal.
But in terms of your perception of Vince McMahon, it's quite hard to work out from the documentary and from everything I've read and gleaned where the villain begins and ends and where the showman, who sort of blurs the line between fact and fiction, begins and ends. How bad a person, in your opinion, is Vince McMahon?
My empirical knowledge, my knowledge based on research, based on interviews, and interviews with really good people. I've met some wonderful people. Bruno Sammartino was one of the most noble people I've met because he told the truth. But based on what I know of Vince McMahon, he's the closest thing to the fictional character Hannibal Lecter.
See, because I watched this already, I thought he was going to say, like, Mr. McMahon. Like, the
that's
real,
what it sounded like.
That's what I thought. He's like Hannibal Lecter. Like, does Vince have, like, a cannibal side that we don't know about?
And even if he did, Vince does not have the social integrity that Hannibal Lecter has. Vince is a chaotic mess of command. Hannibal Lecter was a brilliant, like, cerebral, psychotic. Vince is not that. Vince knows how to get over with a crowd. He knows how to put on a show. He is P.T. Barnum with a shit fetish.
Wow, a serial killer.
He's that sick.
Really?
I think he's a sociopath. Yes,
I
absolutely.
mean, he's probably a sociopath. Yes, but Hannibal Lecter is such a genius, brilliant sociopath, psychopath. He's so much like it would be an honor for you to call Vince Hannibal Lecter versus what Vince actually really is.
What do you do when you make jokes on the air, as the future governor of Minnesota did, Jesse Ventura, about all the pedophiles that were being indulged, transported, and all the kids that would show up from city to city? They had no parental restraints. They were coming from foster homes. They were easy pickings. They were easy prey. And it happened on McMahon's watch. And it happened on everyone's watch. And you, Vince Russo, who used to be anti-McMahon, then you started kissing his ass because he got paid. And you're like everybody else.
You're not going to sit there and lie without me talking over you. You're
Who's
a
Dr.
liar.
Mauro Di Pasquale?
You're a liar, bro.
Pro McMahon ever. I've reported the truth and the facts. You did not go to the steroid symposium because
Did you ever
and
write character?
didn't want to hear his side of it. Did you go, Phil?
Did you ever?
You were
No, you're
invited.
not letting.
Did you go? What? You had a lunch date, bro?
Here,
Why didn't you go, Phil?
Who's Dr. Mauro Di Pasquale? Who's Dr. Mauro Di Pasquale?
That was the person he had present at the steroid symposium. Yeah.
No,
Go ahead,
Pasquale
Phil.
is the chef from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
Yeah, don't try and
I mean,
pass this off as a doctor.
You know,
what was his
common Italian name?
What was his specialty? What was his specialty? Big shot.
I guess he was a con man, Phil. I guess he was an actor. He was an actor, Phil.
Specialty. He was from Canada. His specialty was how to teach athletes to beat steroid tests.
So then, why didn't you go to the symposium and say that?
To go listen
why didn't you
to
go to the symposium and
Because I
say
was
that,
way
bro?
ahead of you.
Okay, let me bring in. Okay, hang on, please. Hang on. Let me bring in Maven, who wants to say something, I think.
That was a good run-in, Piers. And in fact, I did know Mr. Mushnick was going to be on here. The only question I would have for him, and I'm not going to impugn, his life work. The only question I would have for him is, have you ever met Vince? Have you ever sat down with him? Have you ever traveled with him on the road?
We've spoken on the phone.
I'll never say everything Vince has done has landed, and I'll never say he didn't have bad ideas. He certainly did, and some of the things he did was just plain out evil. But to say he's sadistic, I mean,
why was any of it though? Why was any of it plain out evil? Why was it plain? If he was plain out evil on occasion, why are you telling me that? Oh, I got
Look at the way Mushnick is reacting, talking, his body language. He's frantic. He's sulking at times. He's outwardly like angry and shaken up. This is the problem with Phil Mushnick. This is a 30, 40-year career talking down on the WWF, and he knows he's right? And he is right in a lot of this stuff. You're right, but nobody fucking cares, and you are obsessed with it, dude. You're obsessed with it. You have done the most you've done is got the feds looking at Vince, and he beat them. You have been outed, bested every time, and you still can't let it go. That's rough.
Well, here's what I do know.
Phil, everything he's talking about, Maven, and I'll jump in real quick. Everything you're talking about, Phil, happened before four of us were there and 30 years ago, and that what we're trying to give an equal, and we're admitting, all of us are admitting that everything he did was not good. But you haven't brought up one thing that happened after 1999. After 1999.
Well,
after
okay.
1999.
But here's an interesting point.
I wasn't covering.
Let me ask you, Phil. Phil,
are
you were one of the first.
Coachman?
Well, Phil, let me just jump in a moment, Phil.
SNY?
Phil was one of the first journalists to expose the widespread use of steroids in WWE. Right. Vince McMahon was acquitted in 1994 for distributing steroids and won a conspiracy to distribute steroids. He addressed Phil Mushnick directly afterwards. We've got that clip.
Yeah, see, he even called out Mushnick after he got in trouble.
I was constantly amazed at the utter lack of ethics of some of the good guys involved in my case, all of whom had demonstrable ties to Mr. Phil Mushnick. I watched the good guys lie to the media, lie to the judge, lied to the jury. I watched the good guys get caught because they tried to pressure my alleged co-conspirator into changing his prior
By the way, King Cobra said Piers Morgan is brilliant and fuck PDF files.
Sworn testimony. I watched as the good guys were forced to admit that they had destroyed evidence.
Uh-oh.
And I saw the ultimate impact of the truth when the jury acquitted me and the World Wrestling Federation without us even having to put on a defense or call even one witness.
No, Phil, there was obviously no doubt that a lot of them were on steroids, right? So were you surprised when McMahon was acquitted? Why do you think that happened? And do you give him any credit for what he did afterwards in cleaning it up?
I firmly, Piers, I believe that he was prosecuted in the wrong jurisdiction. Had he been prosecuted in Stamford, Connecticut, where all the drugs from Dr. Zahorian were delivered to McMahon, who admitted to using steroids, but he said he did them legally. Now, if he did them legally, go down to the corner pharmacist and get your steroids. Don't get them from a guy who's doing 4 years in prison, in a federal prison.
That's exactly what I did.
So
Mr. Mushnick, that's exactly what I did. I have openly on my channel admitted steroid use during my time in the WWE. And no one from the WWE made me do it. I did it all on my own. And I did exactly what you said. I got a doctor's note, I got blood work done, and I did it as safely as I possibly could, knowing full well what the ramifications later in life might be.
Under what premise? What was your premise? What was the premise for getting
under the premise that I wanted to, under the premise that I was in the big boys, the league with the big boys, and I needed to look the part. It was completely
WCW was where the big boys played, by the way.
And there was
my
a
decision.
presumption.
Vince or no one told me to.
I know, but there was there not the presumption within the industry that if you wanted to get anywhere, you had to be roided out? The old expression.
No, you had to have a look.
Big.
You had to have a look, and having big roided muscles was a look.
Yeah,
if you didn't have a look, you wouldn't stand out.
In Maven's day, it wasn't as bad because all the steroid fallout had already happened. But like in the 80s and early 90s, most of the guys were steroid jacked. Like very few of the big players weren't. Like Jake Roberts. I don't know if he ever did steroids, but he didn't look like roided out. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
He didn't look like a
big, tall
bodybuilder.
guy.
Yeah.
He was he was very good with the psychology of wrestling.
Yeah.
He was able to like sell you. He could really talk you into believing he was a fucking force. And he had a fucking snake. That's a snake in a bag is better than muscles.
Yep.
You couldn't.
I could name.
So why did you
I
take
could
them?
name
If you
plenty
didn't
guys
need
I
the
worked
steroids,
with that didn't.
If you didn't need the steroids, why did you?
Vanity.
Why did you take the steroids?
Vanity.
If there wasn't a requisite.
Vanity. Vanity.
Vanity.
Because I wanted to look. I wanted to
your
look.
knowledge of what goes on in that industry. It wasn't just.
Yes, because you want to look good. You want to look better than everybody else that's competing with you for the spot on TV. It's the same reason women get tit jobs and men get toupees.
It's crazy that The Rock, he's in his 50s and he's bigger and like more jacked now than he was in the WWE in his 20s. That's just crazy because they don't test for steroids in Hollywood, so
yeah,
he can
but
do
also
that.
he has more time and money to work on that physique too. When you're traveling on the road, it's hard to get in and do everything. He can have his home office and then ready to go work out, and then have the office brought to a set with him to work out in.
I wouldn't doubt
everywhere he wants.
I wouldn't doubt that he's on like testosterone therapy also, and like maybe even stem cells to help heal from workouts and shit like that.
Yeah, guarantee you he's got whatever the top is, he's got it. And on top of that, he's eating like 6 cans of tuna fish for breakfast every day. He's getting his protein macros. He's getting his workouts. He's getting all the enhancements he can. He is working it perfectly, and he's getting paid millions upon millions, and he's able to move where he wants to move on his schedule, so he can have the gym with him at all times. Everything goes around him. He is in control. He is peak human physical condition for someone who wants to look like a fucking house.
Let me bring in Jonathan, please. Let me bring in Jonathan.
It's not cosmetic surgery.
Let Jonathan speak, Phil.
Industrial surgery.
Jonathan.
Phil, you got to move past 1995, Phil. And we can have an honest conversation. I started in 1999.
The end of 1999.
It's Jonathan. Let Jonathan.
Not one conversation. And of this panel, other than Vince, I was physically next to Vince more than anybody during that time from 1999 through 2008, through my character work on the show. And also because I hosted a lot of press conferences. We were on his jet together. We were flying all over the place. And not one time, Phil, not once have I ever heard a conversation about steroid use or you need to use steroids. And I'm not saying that guys didn't. They've openly, like Maven just said, but it's not something we said around.
I mean, you're not blind. You're not blind.
Because
You're deaf,
was
but
there.
not blind.
But Phil, I'm telling you, it's not talked about. And you just said, is it well known?
And I want to put in something even further. I don't see any reason why wrestlers shouldn't be able to take steroids. If you're taking steroids for muscles, like none of this is a performance like an actual sport performance. It's all just a look. You should be able to take steroids, whatever the fucking risks are. You should be able to do it.
That's how it was in the 70s and early 80s, and then they became illegal.
I can see with Olympics or whatever, if there's an unfair advantage in the Olympics where they're actually competing within fractions of points and seconds for everything they do, having meaning. like baseball, football, stuff like that. I could see them wanting to keep it out of there. That's up to the leagues, right? But with this, let a motherfucking musclehead have his juice. Let him have his damn juice. If he wants to shrivel his balls, let him have his juice.
No, it was not. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is if you looked at it fairly, instead of always looking at the negative, you would understand that guys had their own brains. And if they chose to use it, that's what they did.
Looked at the
Nobody
negative.
ever made us. No, after 1999.
How many of McMahon's wrestlers?
Trial.
Phil?
Oh, my God, Phil.
How
You're stuck
many
in
of McMahon's
1992.
wrestlers? How many of McMahon's wrestlers didn't make it to 50 years old? How
And
many?
that's
died
not
of-
necessarily steroids. We're talking somas.
Drugs.
We're talking alcoholism, drug addiction,
Suicide.
We're talking suicide from pain that was there before wrestling, pain that was there that they probably turned to wrestling because it was quick, crazy money where they could abuse themselves night after night after night and get a pop and get a rush to cover for the fact that they were dealing with a dark past. A lot of these guys walked in broken human beings and were able to piece together a carnival. They were carnival acts.
Yep.
But they were able to make some money, make some people smile, and yeah, they died young. And it was not because of steroids only. Because if it was, guys like Maven, guys like Kevin Nash, guys who juiced up and have regular lives wouldn't be able to say, hey, we're fine.
Usually steroids is linked to like rare forms of cancer or like enlarged hearts that cause like heart attacks. That's probably why Ultimate Warrior died relatively young, more than likely. Because he ate healthy and shit too. So I don't think it was high cholesterol or anything like that. But it could have been genetic. I don't know.
Yeah.
How
Too many.
Yeah, too many.
What do you mean,
would've
oh my
hit
God,
that
this
way
is
too many.
irrelevant?
Piers,
Okay.
Piers,
Oh,
you're
well,
talking about in every sport.
I didn't indulge. I didn't indulge too
God,
many.
Phil.
I
It
didn't
actually is irrelevant. Yes. What a person does with their body should be up to them, even if it is injecting themselves worth of steroids and dying young.
I would
That
say
should be-
I would say like one of the deaths that is kind of on Vince's shoulders is the Owen Hart thing because he made him do a stunt that wasn't properly checked for safety. Like Owen Hart kind of chose to go through with it, but there wasn't the right people there to make sure it was done properly. Because
the company they hired to do it was at fault, right? Like they went through a whole big court case to figure it out.
I'm pretty
and
sure there was.
They did something
I'm pretty sure
wrong.
WWE paid a settlement too in that.
I don't think so. I think they actually went to court and it was all the WWE was absolved of their risk at that.
You did. Oh my God.
And you could say WWE is at fault because they were the ones that wanted it to happen, and inevitably something bad could happen when you do a risk like that. But like literally letting the guys go into the ring and drop each other on their necks, the WWE is at fault then too, right? It's just this is something way more grand with way more risk, and I do believe that the company behind it was 100% at fault for the accident.
WWE settled out of court with Owen Hart's family for $18 million in 2000.
2000, and then when did the other thing settle?
I don't know.
The fault
I was just looking to see if it was if WWE because it was their event. So yeah, I mean they would be also sued for liability. I don't know what the I'd have to know like the name of the company.
Next to Vince McMahon.
How come those people
I sat
who
next
work
to
for
Vince
McMahon
McMahon in a room writing TV one-on-one
Get his
with
autograph?
the man. Hundreds of days I spent. Never once did Vince McMahon say, "Oh, we're not going to push so-and-so because of his body and he's not on steroids." This guy's delusional. This is what I said at the beginning of the show. Everything out of his mouth is negative about Vince. I spent hundreds of hours with the man. Never one time did he say,
Never once.
so-and-so isn't going to get a push.
I mean, there's 100%. This is the thing. A guy shows up covered in muscles. He's steroided out. He's going to get Vince's attention. Vince is attracted to muscle men. The same thing with women that come in with big fake tits. If you get fake tits when you wrestle at WWF, you're more likely to get pushed because you stand out to Vince. Everybody, the entire thing this panel has been saying the entire time is you want to stand out to Vince McMahon. You want Vince to see you as valuable because Vince is in charge of putting you on TV.
Oh, Vince was all about Sable, blonde with big boobs. He was really into her. And then like more recently, Ava Marie, who's like very good looking, but one of the worst wrestlers ever. Like
she was also signed to the Rock's promotion agency, right?
I don't know, but
she's the red hair girl, right?
Yeah, like fake red hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't just a Vince thing. That was a favor to Rock thing too. There's a lot of people that are like Rock's cousin. What's her name? The bigger girl,
Nia Jax. Yeah, they kept trying to reinvent Ava Marie to like get her over, but she just sucks so much at wrestling. She's very attractive, like very, very attractive, and I think that's why they kept pushing her.
I saw her at a gas station one night in real life, and she looked like 2 feet away. She looked very, very pretty at a gas station.
I saw Lana, Rusev's wife or whatever, at the airport in LA. She was on the same plane as me because WWE was doing a show in Columbus. It was when I lived in Columbus. I was flying back from LA to Columbus, and there was and she was like a couple rows behind me, and yeah, she looked the same as she did on TV. Also,
let me just hang on. Don't all talk over each other, please. I want to just jump in. Hang on, please. Hang on. I want to talk to Charlie, who's been very quiet and respectful. Hang on, Phil. I want to talk to Charlie. One of the things, Charlie, that's come out of all this, of course, is the link between Donald Trump, the former president, the guy who might be president again in the next 3 weeks. I want to show a clip between Trump and McMahon because Trump was a regular attendee at WWE. So take a look.
I'm going to skip this.
Come on, let's go, Vince. I'm going to shave your head.
Yeah, they shaved it. All right.
We're going to shave your head.
But I also say that in a positive sense because I think there is a lot of showmanship involved with both of them. I think they are both what you would consider to be the ultimate types of businessmen, right? They know what sells. They know how to entertain. They know how to engage. And I think they also recognize talent in other people that then they're able to uplift those around them to also be larger than life. So yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities. And I think that Trump probably, when you look at him now and how he addresses people and how he runs his rallies, I probably think he did pick up a couple of those skills from Vince McMahon in the WWE. And I definitely don't see that as a bad thing. So, Donald Trump got a new fan base from being in the WWE as well.
Right. Phil, I think you actually tried to warn Trump off McMahon, didn't you?
On 2 occasions, I called Donald, who I've known for years. He even tried to get me fired back in 1988 when I was writing about boxing and his negative inclusion in exploiting the boxers to promote Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Come to my casino. And he wasn't a sportsman. I referred to him as Sportsman Trump. He would introduce the celebrities at ringside and ignore the former world champions who were there. And I thought that was horrible. But I called him and I said,
he kind of seems like a Karen to me. He's so outraged about everything. He's a crybaby.
He's a real mushnik.
Yeah.
Donald, I have 4. He had just run the Miss Universe contest, and he got rid of the winner because she was on alcohol and drugs. And he played this noblesse oblige man, and he was going to take care of that. He was going to clean up that pageant. I said, Donald, I have 4 boxers that I'll deliver them to you. I'll get them.
He doesn't have any room. He's got all the classified documents taking up space.
He doesn't want your boxers.
Truck. I'll deliver them to you. With all the FedEx records of the steroids and the opioids delivered to McMahon, the wrestlers, Hulk Hogan, from Zahorian. And and I will give them to you. You don't want to be involved in this. You don't forget about.
And what did he say?
About the
he didn't give a fuck like everybody else.
What did he say? He knows he's the smartest man on earth. No, don't you worry about it. I'm going to give the money to charity. I said, how much are you going to give to charity? Oh, about $1 million. And I said, well, I hope to see the ceremony where you present that big styrofoam check for $1 million.
Styrofoam.
$1 million.
It's usually cardboard, right? I've never seen a giant check made out of styrofoam before.
I think they do like a styrofoam backing because it's lighter than the heavy.
Oh, okay.
Also would enter a cardboard that would keep it up.
Okay.
It's a charity. We'd all know it.
And Phil, just where are we now with this? This documentary's come out. Everyone's been talking about it, watching it, debating it, and so on. Vince McMahon, since the merger of WWE with UFC, he's now a minority shareholder. The family's lost control. He's worth billions.
We don't know.
I was going to ask you. You're plugged in here. What is the reality of his control over it still?
I'm not plugged in. I never. Piers, I'm not plugged in. I never wanted to be plugged in, and I'd love to be unplugged. But I got in.
Okay. Sounds like he's on life support.
That's a lie. He loves
bed.
covering this shit. He's obsessed with it.
Yeah, he was a prominent part of that documentary.
Here, and it's followed me, and I'm proud of what
It's
I've
followed
done.
me.
Very
Bullshit.
proud.
You followed this.
For another
Don't
newspaper,
lie.
not a tabloid, I would have won a Pulitzer for this.
Right. But my question really was, where are we now with Vince McMahon? Is he done with WWE, or do you think he'll make, as some people believe, a big comeback and take control again?
I don't think he has to wear a title on a piece of stationery. I think he'll always be, if not omnipresent, certainly present. People like that don't go away. You can't.
Well, also, why would he come back? Because WWE is doing so well without him. They're breaking attendance records. They're selling record numbers of merch. They are building up stars like they've never before. So why would? Yeah.
Why wouldn't he come back? You tell me. You're a female.
No, I said why would?
I have 2 daughters.
No, I'm
I
saying
have
why
2
would they bring him back?
He is.
You're not listening, Phil, you dumb shit. You're supposed to be the journalist. You can't even listen.
It's like he wants to argue even when there's no argument there.
Yeah,
like he's
Vince McMahon
manufacturing
hurt him.
arguments. Yeah, I don't know.
Vince McMahon hurt you, Phil. You're hurt.
Would they? No, you tell me. Why would you asking? Why wouldn't they bring him back? He has been abusive toward women.
No, Phil, I think you misheard her, Phil.
Done the most vile things.
I said, why would they bring him back?
Phil, I think you misheard what Charlie said. She was saying, why would he go back? It's doing very well without him, is what she said.
Yeah. Because it's his lifeblood. It makes
no, but
his heart
he's been cut off.
Yeah.
If he has a heart.
But it's not up to him anymore.
Right. So, Charlie, what's your
Phil,
view of where we are?
Phil, where have you been?
Yeah, he sold all of his ownership, right? He can't come back even if, he doesn't own any of WWE anymore, right? Pretty
Phil,
sure he was
Phil,
forced to sell.
Yeah, Phil, you look like a complete dipshit right now.
I think it's funny when there's all these photos of Shane talking to Tony Khan. That is something, if Shane shows up in AEW, you know him and his dad aren't getting along, and that's his fuck you to his dad.
I mean, maybe, because Vince isn't in WWE
Probably
anymore.
Foam core, a sheet of stiff foam with a paper lining on the front and back. You can get it at an office supply or craft store.
Classic
Word on
foam
the
core.
street is that Shane and Vince do not get along. There's a big... And Stephanie, because of Vince's behavior that's come to light, Stephanie and more so Shane don't really get along with Vince these days.
Yeah, I think Shane can go to AEW and it doesn't have to be a fuck you to Vince. Shane is as much part of wrestling as Vince is, right? Yeah. Their fathers were both big wrestling promoters.
He's a better wrestler than Vince was, I would say.
Well, yeah, but he was raised on it. He was raised on, wrestling. Shane should be able to go to a wrestling company and run it. If not WWE, he should go to AEW. It's where he belongs.
It would definitely get some eyes on it. AEW is kind of sinking slightly. Did you hear that they did their show in Tacoma and Daniel Bryan lost the title? He's probably retiring.
Yeah, he's retired from regular wrestling.
Yeah, he'll probably do
So
one-offs every now and then or whatever.
Yeah. They ended it. They ended it with him getting suffocated with a plastic bag around his head and pulled out on an ambulance. The whole audience was like, "What? No, this is not how you end a career." It was so hardcore.
In terms of
how do we know that? But Charlie, how do we know that? How do we know it's not up to him anymore? It wasn't up to him last time.
Just because
he
I think
left.
you see
He
the
came
direction.
back.
But I think you see the direction that the company's going in. They're bringing in people that never before really had any business in the wrestling industry. I mean, you have Tony Khan, a former entertainment agent, who's now running the show over on the WWE side. You have UFC swooping and buying WWE. I mean, TKO Group owns both of them. I mean, they're clearly going in a different direction where they're very much geared towards entertainment. They're all about bringing in celebrities.
She said
it's
Tony
so much
Khan,
different
right?
than it used to be.
Did she say it?
Tony Khan. Yeah, Tony Khan does not run WWE.
She's talking about Nick Khan. Yeah, that is
Nick Khan
confusing
runs
though. That the guys running each company
are cons.
Yeah.
I personally am
that's
partial
what they
to the
choose to do
WWE
there.
And Nick Khan is actually a Rock guy too, I think, right? I think Rock and them have a history.
I think so. I think Nick Khan may have been named in the Vince McMahon lawsuit too. I think. But yeah, Tony Khan is just like a rich kid. His father's like one of the richest people in America, and his father created a type of bumper that made him a multi-billionaire. It was a bumper that he like engineered, and now he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars and one of the big soccer teams in the UK also.
That's
Older
what they
days,
choose.
but, you know,
If
I
that's
like-
what they choose to do with their adult, educated lives. That's their business.
Okay, let me bring
But
in.
I don't think the.
Okay, I've got to wrap it up, guys. I want to just get a quick reaction from the three we've not heard from on this. Jonathan, is Vince McMahon done now with WWE in a controlling way? Do you think that's it?
Well, he's done now. There's no way they're going to bring him back. There's way too much money involved. They got the biggest deal in the history of the company, $5 billion with Netflix, who's going to be around. And that's kind of what I wanted this conversation to be, is to move it forward, because I think as it's gone in TKO, when they bought it, part of the reason they looked at it and said, what do we need to get rid of? And we're not here to defend Vince. None of us are here to defend Vince. What we're here to defend is that there are good parts of the business. There are good people that are in this business.
Right.
And when you do a wide swiping, just everything is negative, it's very, very short-sighted, especially when you look at the last 25 years and you see these really good people like Charlie and Vince and Maven sitting on here. We've had really good lives. We've all moved on from the WWE. I've been at ESPN. I've been at PGA Tour. And I'm doing a lot of really good things just like they are. So when I get called a sellout, or there's this blanket thing, Piers, that it's just all negative, that's when I have a problem with it. Vince is done. Vince is not coming back, and we're all cool with that. And he doesn't need to come back because they fixed a lot of the things that were issues during all of our times in the WWE.
Maven, do you agree with that?
100%. Vince is definitely done. I think the world's moved on. It's a different time, and it's a different generation than the one that Vince knew. And I think there's just that we're in a place in society where people just aren't going to stand for even allegations, and allegations that are backed with fact. WWE's moving on, like Charlie said. They're setting attendance records. The stock is up, and they are creating new stars, and they're doing it without the man that started it all.
Yeah.
And like Coachman said, we've all moved on. I don't even watch the product anymore.
Right.
I haven't watched wrestling in I don't know how long, with no plans to.
Right. Vince Russo, finally to you. Do you feel that WWE has moved to a better place? Is it basically a cleaner, better, less scandalous version of what it was under Vince McMahon?
Well, Ari Emanuel would have to be the stupidest business
Rahm Emanuel's brother
man on the face of the planet to still have any association with Vince McMahon. And obviously, looking at his success and the success of his company, he's not.
Yeah.
So with Maven and Coach, 1,000% Vince has nothing to do with the WWE today.
Guys, what a fascinating debate. I've learned a lot. It's been a heated, passionate debate on all sides. I appreciate you duking it out together and
duking it out.
WWE
Also, can I
fashion.
just say something real quick?
Yes, Charlie, quickly.
I think I said Tony Khan was over at WWE. Now, I
Okay.
meant Nick Khan, the former entertainment
Well clarified.
agent, not Tony Khan, who actually runs the opposing AEW,
Got it.
not Tony.
Your clarification is
something I didn't.
noted and will be included. Thank you all very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Piers.
It did get heated for a minute there. It was definitely heated for a minute there.
Phil Mushnick looked like a tool. If they wanted to shit on Vince, they like Hell's Only says in the chat, they could have brought in some real hitters, the guys who wrote Sex, Lies, and Headlocks. There's a ton of people who really could have tore Vince apart. You brought in Mushnick, the jobber of all jobbers when it comes to going after Vince McMahon.
Yeah. He wasn't really good at articulating his points. He was pretty.
Yeah, he looked like an obsessed little angry troll.
He's pretty old, I can tell. He's looking like he's in his 70s, maybe even early 80s. He's looking pretty old.
And he didn't listen to Charlie when she was saying, "Why would they bring Vince back?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course they're gonna bring Vince back." It's like, no, that's not what she said, you idiot.
I downloaded a photo of Eva Marie for people who never got to see Eva Marie. This was like her wrestling gear. You know?
She was not wearing that at the gas station when I saw her.
Yeah.
She had a hoodie on, and I was eating a corn dog and looked like a real fat shit. So I didn't hit on her because I was mid corn dog. Her and I might be married right now had I laid the charisma down.
So
Layla and I think two other girls were there too.
Yeah, Layla
at the gas
L.
station.
All right. I'm gonna let the people vote on this.
Vote on your throat.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there in just a second.
Seth looks says Eva sucked. Glad she's gone.
Yeah, that's
she
what-
sure did not.
Yeah, she was
did
all
not do
look.
well.
She was all look.
I think there's only room for one of Rock's favorites to get pushed. So now they're pushing Nia Jax instead.
All right, so I'm gonna let you, the people, vote for what we do next. You should vote. Everybody vote. Get your vote in. And I genuinely want to see. So we have about 300 watching. I want to see at least 100 votes here.
Yeah, you better vote, all 300 of you. Now.
Yeah, I don't want this to be like the U.S. elections where like more of the population doesn't vote. The whole population here must vote.
Also, this vote's not rigged. Have you been following the politics?
A little bit. Like, I already know what's going on, and it's all just the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, I did watch Ted Cruz. He debated this guy, this Democrat in Texas that used to be a pro football player that did pretty well in a debate against him, and the numbers are kind of close. It's still, Ted Cruz will probably still win, but it's surprising, like, how close this guy is to beating him in the polls. So I guess anything could happen.
I was getting a shit ton of text messages from that guy, his campaign.
Who?
Like, why the hell am I getting whoever's going against Ted Cruz?
Really? Why would you get text? You don't live in Texas.
I don't know. Yeah, I was getting so many. I had to I kept blocking the numbers. It was coming from different numbers. Finally, I stopped the email list, and I think they stopped. I think someone just signed me up for it. I don't know.
Yeah, people do that as like a prank.
Yeah, whoever did that, not nice.
Everyone get your votes in. Please vote. I guess it's so close in the polling. I'm just gonna have to wait and see what happens. We might not even, it's probably gonna be so close the night of, we're not even gonna know. It's probably gonna take a day or two for them to be sure, and then there's gonna be recounts in the really close places. You know, there's the county that Port Angeles is in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that county has voted. It's a swing county. So it goes both Republican and Democrat over the years, and they have correctly voted for every president since Ronald Reagan's first election in 1980.
Shit.
I just saw a news story about it. So it's pretty crazy. So they voted for Trump when no one thought Trump was going to win. And that's in Washington.
Psychos.
Yeah.
Little psychos. I wonder if they're going to get it right this year, too.
We'll see. Yeah, it's the county that Port Angeles is in. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's like on the northern part of the Olympic Peninsula.
I don't recall either. My mom would know.
Yeah. I've driven
Checking
through
my phone
there
to see if my mom's watching and texting me the answer.
Yes! Oh, he was
Welcome
nice.
back.
He was nice and didn't do the
Welcome
102.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you, Jay Spoon. Just for that, I'm going to laugh for 2 minutes straight.
We're not going to be able to do it for 2 minutes. We're going to pass out. I can't do it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to hyperventilate. Your face is turning red. You're running out of air. I'm not keeping time, so I don't know how long you've been doing it. It's probably been at least 2 minutes now, right? I'd say you made it. There were a few that kind of sounded more like singing, where you're like,
Thank you, Jay
all right.
Spoon.
So where are we at with the voting? We're at, man, okay, so wow, it looks like there people are voting to see Jessica. I'm just putting that out there for all the people that are like, why do you always cover King Cobra and his annoying girlfriend all the time? It's what the people want to see. It's what the people want to see. I guess the majority of them. Then there's like a vocal minority that complains about it. You know what I'm saying,
The
bro?
vocal minorities. Those are the least liked minorities. The vocal minorities.
Hey, sometimes minorities have the best vocals. You know what I'm saying?
I love Motown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was like, my mom was really into Motown, and my dad was into like what we would later call like 70s rock, like Led Zeppelin and that kind of shit. So my dad always hated my mom's music, but because, you know, like I grew up listening to Motown shit originally, you know, like
Detroit had a Kiss, right?
I don't think Kiss is from Detroit. I think they have a song called Detroit Rock City, but I don't believe they're actually from Detroit.
Okay.
I wonder where they are from. Let's see. I'm guessing they're from like the Northeast. They are from. Does it say? Pretty sure pretty sure Gene Simmons was born in Israel. It says they're from New York. It says they're from New York as a band. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Kisses from NYC.
Yep.
Hell's Only said that, and I thought he was sending me kisses from NYC. So I sent him a kiss back. I was like, oh yeah, we just asked where Kiss was from.
That is what happened. Yeah. Yeah. So there's some rock bands from Detroit, you know, like Iggy and the Stooges, and you know, like Ted Nugent is from Detroit, and the MC5. There's a couple, you know.
I think I just assumed
the White Stripes.
Kiss was from Detroit. White Stripes are Detroit.
Yeah.
I think I assumed Kiss was from Detroit because the song Detroit Rock City, but also the face paint. And then I know Juggalos are from
Alice
Detroit.
Cooper is from Detroit also. Alice, and he had face paint.
Yeah.
By the way, Shaggy 2 Dope is like live streaming on YouTube, like in the here on the West Coast. It's like in our like afternoon, like around noon, and it's a good stream. He's not getting as many viewers as he should. Like I think it's because he's just now starting, but his streams are pretty funny. Yeah, I was in the chat. I was in there chatting for a little while there. It was pretty cool. But it's just like our streams, you know, with like donation alerts and a chat and all that like on the screen. All right, so let's see what Jessica is saying here. It sucks that she's like streaming on Facebook. Hold on.
Who's up here? Sneezing. Hello?
Oh, has someone broke into her house to like do her harm?
I hear a sneeze.
Is there
Oliver
a sneezing
Jones.
burglar?
It's the
You
sneezing
are
serial
asking for
killer.
trouble, dude.
Sneezing season.
Oliver Jones with the smallest bones. Oliver. This dude is asking for trouble. Oliver.
What?
Do you want to go to a new home at 11 years old?
That's one of her like
That's a joke.
20 cats.
Oliver. Oliver Jones, what do I have to do to get you to lay off of my... Oliver.
You Demogorgon.
Lay on Mama's bed. Look, the little demon is downstairs, so don't even.
That's weird. There's two Olivers living in that house. Oliver Jones and Oliver mental illnesses.
I would love to take it as much as he could give. I'm just saying, and he's fucking missing out.
Phil
I cook,
Oliver
I'm clean,
Holes.
I'm cute, I'm kind. I'm thoughtful. I'm demure. I'm all that shit, but he doesn't even understand anything.
She's demure and all that shit.
It's whatever. In due time, he'll realize what he lost.
He doesn't give a shit, and you're all broken up and angry about
I
it.
met a man like Josh drinks a lot.
You drink just as much, if not more. I don't sit and monitor all your
hair. Josh drinks a lot.
Yeah, she was trying to look goth. I've heard Cobra claim that she drinks more than him. That might be true, but either way, like I don't monitor all their drinking. I mean, she streams way more, so we see her drink more. You know what I mean?
You think she? Yeah. You think she's trying to win Cobra back by turning her hair into Mountain Dew?
Do you think it's...
No, she's trying to win him back by calling him a domestic abuser.
That's not gonna work.
Tell you, he did not tell you everything I sent him in that package.
Someone in the chat claims I drink
It
more
wasn't just a
than
fucking
Naked and Laughing. I haven't had a drink in almost 19 days at the end of today.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but Ben does drink more better drinks than Naked and Laughing.
You know what I beg
That's
for?
true.
Your time,
I've been drinking a lot of
your attention, your effort.
It's weird, like sparkling water is now like my like diet beer. I just pretend like it's like beer with no flavor or alcohol.
Sparkling water?
Yeah.
I begged for the clone.
I get the pure version of LaCroix. So because I don't like the flavor. I don't like the flavor. I'll just take it.
So he's saying I'm begged for it.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody drink that before.
Yeah, see, I have like a bunch of empties.
Oh wow!
Especially the Clone Willy the most.
She got a clone of Willie of King Cobra.
So seriously, as much as Josh is a blank addict, I could give it to him.
A blank addict?
Because I'm like, yeah, I finally met my match. Someone who actually
The Punan.
Whatever.
A
I'm not
blank
saying
addict.
You have to drink, but I'm saying, like
Topo Chico
guys
is.
that drink and it, like,
I still haven't.
gets them.
I've tried Topo Chico, but I've never bought a Topo Chico before.
Josh can
I refuse to buy Topo Chico. It is great though.
Always. He doesn't understand. I praise him.
She appraises King
I fucking
Cobra.
praise him. I want his cock right now.
She goes back and forth.
Doesn't even
Like,
understand.
oh my God, I want his cock so bad, and then she's like, oh, he's a piece of shit. I don't need him anymore.
About some girl.
But let's trade King Cobra's cock with like crack, right? This is how a crackhead fiends for drugs. When they don't have it, they're like, oh, I need it. They're like, I don't need it. It's shit. It ruined my life. She's addicted to what the dick did.
Cock crack?
Yeah,
cock crack?
She's addicted to that cock Cobain.
I love you, Larry. You're a good boy.
She got a taste of the Cobra.
Once you go Cobes,
Never.
you probably need some probes.
She was ready to join Slytherin after that.
House Slytherin.
He slithered
You
in.
still found a spot to lay. You're such a demon child. Do you know that?
A Demogorgon.
Are you a demogorgon? What do you think you are? Look at me. You're a jealous little man.
That poor cat.
Even animals in like these conditions, this is
You know you could never be.
it's better than being eaten by a coyote.
I don't think there are a lot of coyotes there, but maybe.
All of you are one of
Yeah, I can't feel bad for a cat that has a human that pays any attention to them. And like if the cat looked like it was covered in mats and emaciated from not eating, I'd
There's
be like,
too
poor
many
cat,
of
but-
them there. There's too many cats there, all living together. It's like a hoarding situation.
Yeah, that sucks, but
I would never replace you.
I don't know. The cat's keeping her away from other people, at least for now. The cat's doing its civic duty, keeping her in the house.
You're a good
10
man.
cats, 1 litter box. She probably changes the litter box, right?
I don't know. Shani didn't.
I bet you. Well, yeah, Shani definitely didn't.
Right.
Shani didn't clean up after her own.
She's a
fucking
hoarder.
kids.
She's a hoarder too. I've seen her room. It's like all full of junk. There's hardly any room for anything.
Looks like a
It's a hoarding house. So they might not. I'm not going to assume they do or they don't, but they very well could not. Like it's a good possibility.
You can never be replaced, Ollie, ever.
I'm going to assume she does. I'll give her that.
I didn't rescue you. Someone else did, but I rescued you from them. You know, you can't put the double.
Maxie Poo asked, do her parents live downstairs and she takes over the upstairs? I think her parents honestly just stay out of her way.
I'm glad you haven't hissed at them lately, Ollie. You've been. Okay? It's never gonna happen. You're 11 years old, sir. You know that? You're 11 years old, Ollie. It's like long.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know what years are, and he
11.
can't understand what you're saying. So, like,
You're not going anywhere.
This is what you guys voted for. I'm just reminding you.
I blame all you sickos that thought she was going to be in full Demogorgon mode. She's in cat mode, wishing she was back with King Cobra.
Oh.
Now, this might change in 4 minutes.
Yeah, she was talking about him and then kind of went back to the cat, which is good. But she'll probably flip back. She can't help herself.
Seth Looks and Hell's Only are both saying they didn't vote for this.
Ollie, I love you. Get your claws out of me.
Aww.
Why don't you lay down?
Aww.
Why don't you lay down? No?
Yeah, she could just have a ton of wine boxes laying around for the cats to shit in.
Was kind enough to gift me a $75 MGA gift card, which means
What's MGA?
Miniverse. So I got 8 Hello Kitty. Oh my god, my hips hurt. I got 8 balls and a flashlight, and then I had a $10 like coupon on their thing. So I just paid like blah blah and tax and blah blah. So I paid not even $8, and then my package was delayed like at least.
Horror movie idea. She's a witch that turns guys into cats and makes them live with her forever. That is scary.
I'm not even get into that dumb shit.
And you're like hoarded with all these other poor bastards.
Yeah, every one of those cats is like a guy that was in one of her videos with her.
Well, yeah, they were like desperate, and she was like at the bar at the end of the night, and they had their beer goggles on, and they were like, all right, why not? You know,
Cobra's magic kept him from being one of her cats.
There you go. Circle of
Pretty
protection.
much almost everything else. Almost.
Watch Cobra disappears from the internet, and all of a sudden she gets a bearded dragon.
So yeah,
That's scary.
And I bought one random ball when we had them at Walmart. So I have 9 equal. So I need 3 more. I need the macarons.
That bra is doing all the work, by the way, because I watched her pornographic film, and those floppers are belly button level.
Collection of the mini. And then I got a package today from.
Some are into that, though. I mean, to each their own.
Usually sent me a package before, but I never got it.
All boobs are titties.
And it's very sad because there was a lot of good stuff in there too. So where that ended up, where it is, I don't. But she told me I had a thing in the mail. I was like, oh my god. So I have.
My mom finally messaged back to say that Port Angeles is Clallam County.
Okay.
Too. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, that's.
Thank you, Mother the Fridge.
Thank you.
Go at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, it's like the very top of the peninsula.
I probably have batteries in my room. I just don't know where. But I need battery. So I have 2 of those flashlights now. But yeah, I've got all these fucking miniverse. I love it. And I cannot wait to fucking do one. Especially the Hello Kitty. Some of mine, so the strawberry
She's
milk
so
you get 2
like
things, right?
drab.
It's cute. It's like fuck. Even
When
the
she's
apple
not
pie you
pissing
get
behind
2.
Walmart,
I think
she's
it's-
so drab.
Why is it for like the boba?
Yeah, Oliver Jones needs to do us a solid and take a shit in her lap. That should get this video started.
She did like a Blair White stream where she was behind Walmart trying to find a cat like in the brush, and she had a pair of wire cutters, and it's just her like snip snipping all these little twig branches, and every now and then she turned around and she barely made any progress like getting into the woods. She's like right in the she's still in Walmart's parking lot.
You said a Blair White video. You mean Blair Witch?
Did I say Blair White Project?
Oh, you said that she made a Blair White video.
Oh, I meant Blair Witch. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
multitasking in my brain.
In my mind, I'm like, why is that a Blair White video? I'm like,
My
I'm trying
bad.
to put it together.
Yeah. Well, actually, yes, she transitioned. My bad.
Yeah. That'd be great if
The
there
Blair
was
White
a horror movie
Project?
called The Blair White Project.
Yeah.
And it was just like a they them wanting to transition and going into the woods to get a
missing cat.
An underground transition. And then it turns out that the witch in the woods is a terrible transitioner doctor.
Oh
and
my
it's like a
God.
horror, and you're
I don't even
wishing
want to
for your
go. I don't
penis
even
back.
want to get into that. I don't even want to get into that.
Blair White Project.
I got 2 free with that sample.
So she's just talking about how she's getting deals on shit and stuff. I don't know. You know what she tries to do, but she's not good at it, is like buy shit at thrift stores and then resell it online for more money.
I
Yeah.
also got the grilled corn, so I got butter
Yeah,
slices.
I don't know.
Like the corn, you literally.
She's about to make revenge corn.
butter resin, but you don't get like butter slices.
Yeah, revenge corn. It's like marinated in laxative.
So I made butter.
And then you're like, you want this
slices for
corn on the
my
cob?
waffles and my corn. So I'm gonna add.
You soak the corn overnight in Mountain Dew.
Resin and butter slices.
You cover
to
it
my
in
waffles
Lucerne
on the end, plus
cheese,
the
Lucrane.
Sarghetto.
Serenghetto.
You cover it. You cover it in Doritos.
And then
you microwave it for 6 minutes, 6 seconds. Then you let it sit in the fridge overnight.
How about Doritos? Like toes with Dorito dust all over them?
I won't. Actually, you know what?
Doritos.
Mix that up. And
If there was a fetish video of somebody sucking toes covered in
cereal and then
Dorito cheese dust,
Yeah.
I would want to watch it on the show. Like, I would want to watch it with the audience. That would be so. The
That's like
reaction
something
to that would be.
That's like the kind of porn Tony Atlas does. He does like foot worship porn and shit.
Him blow them feet. Him blow them feet.
I know I'm not here at all, but I'm just talking.
I love them feet.
So I like that some of these things you get extra ingredients, but then some things it's like they don't give you, and it just makes you question them. Like for instance, okay, you get 2 apple pies. That seems like very quality. Why do you only get 1 boba cup and 1 cream soda cup?
The other night I was telling people who
Why
have
do you
never
only get 3 bacon?
who have never been to Jollibee about the Jollibee peach pies. Have you ever had
You
one of
like
those?
them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are good.
Huh.
That's like one of the better foods at Jollibee because I'm not a big fan of the chicken sandwich. Is
Yeah.
okay. I don't really like the spaghetti.
I thought Jollibee was kind of gross, to be honest. I'm a pretty.
Yeah. It wasn't the best. I would say the best thing I had there was the peach pie, and then I would say the chicken sandwich is like mid tier.
I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to fast food too.
Yeah.
And when I finally had Jollibees, I was like, "This has got to be indoctrination." Like, no, how do people like this?
Same reason people like Jack in the Box.
Or is it still?
Yeah, I like Jack in the Box.
You know, it's just like.
Well,
And then there's something. What is it?
The
that
Jack
you
in the
get
Box,
6 bows.
2 tacos for 99
those
cents.
tacos are trash. They're some of the most. They're barely tacos.
I'm like,
They
oh,
are
well, these
the
bows-
type
I
of
usually
trash
use
that I can
those
get
for
behind.
fucking- Although one of those
Yeah,
bows would
Jollibee's is
be
a
way
Filipino
bigger on
thing,
the
so I think there's
than
probably
the
a sense of
bows.
nationalism
Anyways,
there.
it's like, why don't they
The
give
cuisine probably fits better with a Filipino palate.
It's their main fast food restaurant there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see why someone may like Jollibee. They might be conditioned, which is why I use the word indoctrinated, which is being a little rude. But if you like, if it, I could see why you might like that better than other fast food if your taste buds are
Why do you only
from
get 3 bacon
somewhere
strips?
where
I got
mid-ass
2 BLTs.
bitch spaghetti tastes good.
The pinhole hacks work. Once you fucking find the pinhole hacks. Like I told my friend on the phone the other day, I said, I got the grilled corn right here. She's like, how do I said do the chart? And I, boom, got the grilled corn. But yeah, it's
Jack
like,
tacos are
like,
literally the
why does
worst
the waffle
tacos
come with a
in
banana
the
and not
existence of
butter?
tacos.
So I had to get the corn. to
The
get
meat
butter.
is like powder, like a weird,
my
like
Hello Kitty.
powdery
I know, I
beef
sound insane, but I
flavored shit. And there's like a melted slice of American cheese in it. It's trash.
Up in here.
They're just basic. They're great. They fry them to a crisp. They
It's
have the little
gross.
sauce and some lettuce
And
in
I
it.
need alkaline. But I can. I've got a gazillion.
Can we put up a? Can we put up a?
That's not a complaint.
A poll.
Ollie, I
Just
know you
Jack
don't wanna
in the
leave
Box
my side,
tacos,
but, dude.
yum or gross. See how
Mama's
people
gotta
feel about
configure
this.
herself.
No, I don't
I'm
care
not
how
gonna
they feel
abandon
about
you,
it.
bro.
Man, I
And
need to
would've never
know.
abandoned
Nope,
Josh
I don't care
either,
how they
just
feel
like his
about it.
mother did. I would have.
They can be degenerates on their own time. I don't need to know about it.
I would have never abandoned him.
I'm pretty sure the Jack in the Box 2 for 99-cent tacos is the. I'm gonna say this
I
is
can't
the
tell
best
if the
deal
milk
in
is
fast
actually
food
pink or- I think
currently.
I regret bringing this up now.
I don't really care.
There's hot dogs and there's
But yeah,
spaghetti.
you get it's like, who puts raspberries in their
Yeah,
cereal?
they need to
I
put
don't-
chili on spaghetti like non-degenerate cretins.
We don't get. I love raspberries, but who puts it? So yeah, when I make
There's
my
this
cereal,
character in the
it's gonna
chat,
get bananas
JAS,
in it,
calling me a
for
coward.
sure.
I gotta tell you, JAS,
It's B.
you probably have never even had Jack in the Box tacos. So how am I supposed to value your opinion?
That kind of sounds like, tell me you didn't read the book without telling me you didn't read the book, bud.
I don't know what that means.
That's something Sturgis says. Anytime someone says they don't like something about Isom, he's like, well, you probably didn't read it
Oh
anyway.
my eye! What is wrong?
Yeah,
with
you're
my
just
eye?
like Sturgis,
And I can't
JAS.
wait because I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing these. And I feel so bad for the one lady who sent the one box that apparently had no tracking, and it's I don't know. If it shows up, I pray it shows up. I don't like the idea someone stole my package and they got all these goodies that... I will say, though, I got the love potion. She sent me the love potion. I don't have the snake, though.
No, there's definitely
Maybe
like
I don't
more passable Jack in the Box food. The taco is one of the worst things.
I do have the love
but it
potion.
all overall is very low tier.
That one is so beautiful.
I think Jack in the Box, to me,
it killed children. It has a literal
Harry
body
Potter's
count of
the
children.
armadillo
Just pointing
or
that out.
whatever
Yeah,
it's
that's
called.
awesome.
The one
It's
with the
risky.
snake on it in orange, and I love orange.
Okay.
Orange is also... I like black, purple.
And the Jack in the Box had some of the greatest ads of all time.
That has nothing to do
Some
with
of the
food.
greatest fast food ads of all time.
Sure.
I don't care.
Jack in the
ads are
Box is
fine.
where you
Oh,
can
I
get
love
like
Oh my god.
egg
dude.
rolls,
I know.
mozzarella sticks, tacos,
Like, which one is this?
burgers.
Ollie, do you like Hello Kitty? Oh, the donuts. So this one is weird, like the thing.
I knew JS had never tried Jack in the
it's
Box
the
tacos.
donuts that has the extra bows. Yeah, that's weird for me. Okay. So the donuts, you get 4, right? But the
Yeah, forever.
directions.
Roger
only
Wilco
show
says
3.
Chipotle has also killed people.
Okay.
Like,
But you
I,
get 6
if you tell
bows.
me your restaurant kills
So,
people
yes,
and it
one
hasn't
of the
killed me,
bows
that
from-
just tells me I'm stronger.
Even though this bow is going to be a way different material and way bigger.
Okay, so we're not even listening to her anymore. It's like she's just background noise. I used to go to this is not a big chain fast food restaurant, but it was like a local one. And they would kind of do something kind of similar to Jack in the Box tacos, but they just use like a burger, because it was a burger restaurant. They'd use a cooked burger patty, a slice of American cheese, and like some lettuce in it.
That's
I would
half
eat
a burger patty.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat these either, but like
Jack in the Box tacos look way better. Jack in the Box tacos are actually like fried on the spot.
They are
those
fried.
Are just corn.
They're gross,
Those
though.
are just corn tortillas.
Yeah, this is the
that's poverty right there, and
Yes.
it probably still costs more than Jack in the Box
No, I
tacos to
doubt
this
it.
day.
I don't know actually. I don't know because
It's
it's
two for 99 cents.
Okay, Billy. All right.
It's hard to find any fast food menu with anything around $1, and this is like 2 things for $1.
But they're gross. They're fucking gross.
And right now they're doing the mummy wrapped monster taco, which is
Not a
gigantic
sponsor,
Jack in the
Tubes.
Box taco. It's a gigantic Jack in the Box taco covered in cheese, bacon, and wrapped in another bigger non-fried shell. It's a mummy wrapped monster taco. Something that King Cobra would make.
All right. So now we're going to do... I don't have it. Let me see. Do I have the... Yeah, I do. Awesome. Here it is.
Time for stupid commercials.
All right.
Do 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 do.
This isn't really stupid, but I saw this locally because they're voting on like ballot initiatives and stuff. And Bill Nye got involved in one of them.
Greetings, Bill Nye here. Reading this is easy, right? Your brain is actually doing something called orthographic processing, recognizing letters and words. It's science. But take a look at Initiative 2117. It's written to confuse you. The mega millionaires behind it don't want you to know it will mean more air pollution, threaten clean water, and put our health at risk. You don't have to be a science guy to know that 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that bill, but I'll listen to Bill Nye.
Yeah, he's saying to vote no on it. I think it's like getting rid of like I think the gas tax might even be part of it. I don't know. I have like my informed voter thing that they sent to me, and I was going to read up on it while I was actually voting because I have my ballot already. So
Can't believe I have to vote this year just because Bill Nye told me to.
Are you registered? Do you get a ballot?
I don't know. I should.
Normally you get one if you're registered, and you only have to register once.
I know I'm on at least one registry.
Hey, what's that up there? A bird. A plane. A UFO. It's Mark Norton.
Good news for people who have credit problems. Norton Furniture is here for you.
Player, super player.
That's Norton's Furniture, 2106 Payne Avenue, 216-687-1660.
Yeah, I have no idea what just happened there.
Mark Norton came down and sold some couches.
There's a lot of ads that this place did. Like, yeah, Norton Furniture.
Indiana Jones? About to go buy me a fucking dinette.
Living rooms, bedrooms.
There's got to be an easier way to get credit. There is an easier way. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit at Norton Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere. All I have to do is come to your store. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
I'll be honest with you. He's a loan shark. He just dabbles in furniture on the side.
Good news for people that have credit problems.
There is a ballot measure in my county that could kill my job if it passes. It's super fun waiting for election day to find out if I have to start looking for a new job. What am I, the president or something?
Oh my God.
Crazy.
That's terrible. Keep donating money to our stream so that you have to get a job because you won't have any saved up.
Oh my God.
I hope it works out for you. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. Like I'm tense enough just wondering if Trump's going to be president again.
Norton Furniture is here
If Trump
for you.
wins, then I get a blowjob.
Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
It's very creepy.
I'm back.
Look at that.
Why does Mark look like? Why does Mark look like he's recorded this in Mr. Based's living room?
Yeah, because there's all these weird items. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
these
Base's
are all
living
from
room is
Mr.
way
Base's house.
smaller than this.
Yeah, it used to be Mark Norton's furniture.
1660.
Roger Wilco says he's supposed to be the Godfather. No, he literally is the Cleveland Godfather. The reason he talks like that is because he's mafia. He's a loan shark. He's mob. He's connected. He's probably got a house up in what's the mob part of Ohio?
Youngstown.
Yeah, Youngstown. Goddamn, why can't I think of Youngstown?
Yeah.
We got a house up in Youngstown.
Maybe.
He sells out of Cleveland.
I know she wouldn't call.
Hello?
I love you, and I'm sorry. I knew that you would call.
Your credit stinks.
I'm so sorry, and I will never, ever embarrass you again.
If you can't get credit at Norton's Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere.
My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
Mark's putting his guma in his fucking video. He's got the fat guy in his. That's obviously the fat guy is mob. He obviously sits back and eats fucking Capicole all day. This is 100% a mob operation. He's literally loan sharking you in the video. If you can't get a loan here, you can't get a loan anywhere. I got an offer you can't refuse. 100% mob. That was cute.
The
island.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Sweetie, there's no one on this island but us.
They went to the local strip club to get her, right?
I know.
I think that's his guma. I think he's
Escort service.
I think he's banging her on the side. He gets her an apartment in Cleveland.
Don't let this happen to you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit at Norton Furniture,
seriously,
you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark.
He almost got pressed by the. Oh, by the way, pause. Can we go back 2 seconds?
Yeah, right there.
This woman in the background here is inappropriately painted. That is she's inappropriately black.
Maybe she's from Africa. Dude, I've seen people from Africa that are that dark. Absolutely.
That's a troublesome paint job.
I've seen people. You ever heard of Manute Bo? You ever seen that dude?
If we got Manute Bo and put him up against her, she's darker.
She's in a dark room.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with how that she is painted, especially next to the Candyland version of Leonardo DiCaprio across from her. This looks like Django Unchained featuring phony soprano. Ponytail.
good news for people that have credit problems. Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. Norton Furniture guarantees same-day delivery. My name is Mark.
He's like the worst spokesperson for his own store. It's like his voice, like it's they should get they should get a loud, boisterous person.
You can count
he runs the show.
Hey, Mark, free ponytail. I need a new phony beard. Come here, dude.
Run, Mark, run. 69.
My fellow Americans, Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere.
Can you promise same-day delivery?
My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
And you can count on it.
I think Mark just won the election.
Damn. What's this?
My name is Mac.
I ache for you.
Oh God, this is gonna be a good one.
you only understood how I feel about you.
What are you talking about?
I ache for you.
They have like a UK phone booth there for some reason.
Yeah, I think this is probably all stuff they sell in the furniture store.
They're like antiques almost. The old gas
Yeah.
pump.
He probably
What's your
buys this
credit
stuff
stop?
as like a sell in the store, as like a part of the attraction, I would bet. I bet you this is all in the store next to the regular furniture that ships in.
Great, sweetie. I know Mark Norton, and if you can't get credit so you can't get credit anywhere. Hello, what's up? You gotta help me out with something. What? You know. Yeah, all right. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
He's got the best energy.
You can count on it.
You can count on it. My name's... Was it Mark?
Mark, yeah, Mark Norton.
Hmm.
From Norton Furniture.
Oh, great Wizard of Oz, I have journeyed here to get some credit.
Dorothy, I know somebody. Dorothy, I'm here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit at Norton Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere. What about me? And me. Sweetie,
Where have I
meet
seen
with
this
you.
before?
This is Wizard of Oz.
No.
See what I can do.
Yeah. He's Wizard of Oz.
There's a lot of these.
Doctor.
If you can ever, I'm sure, because like every city has like their funny local commercials, especially in the 80s and 90s. So if there's any Seattle ones that stick out in your mind, I'll play them again some other time.
You ever watch Vern Fonk?
I don't know who that is.
Vern Fonk is like the Seattle commercials like this. Vern Fonk is the Seattle
I'm guessing
number one, I think.
I'm guessing this was a thing before I lived here.
Yeah, Vern Fonk, and then there's Flynn the Carpet Man.
Okay. So there. Yeah, I'd like to. I'll check those out.
Doctor, I don't know what to do. My wife is driving me crazy. You think you got problems? I can't even pay my bills. Ugh. Doctor, listen to me. If you can't get credit at Norton Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere. And doctor, Norton Furniture guarantees same-day delivery. My name
Damn,
is Mark,
same day.
and you can count on it.
There was another one back in the day. Was it Jack Roberts Appliances? I think. Not Jake Roberts. I think it was Jack Roberts. There was tons.
Jack Roberts. Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh no.
They keep going. Oh.
Good news for people who have credit problems. Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
You can count on it.
I just thought of a Seattle commercial that I've seen that I thought was
Vern
funny.
Funk still has radio ads. I love the Leroy Suits commercial. A whole store for buying pimp suits.
Yeah, the Leroy Suits commercial was big. The Leroy Suits, I think it went out of business a few years back.
So this is Michael Gallagher. It's like a divorce lawyer commercial.
Attorney, yeah.
And for some reason, they're still playing an ad that's probably like 23 years old or so. Here it is.
If you wanna file for divorce or you need help, you're gonna wanna call Mike Gallagher.
They're fighting over the phone to who gets to call Mike Gallagher first to divorce the shit out of the other one.
You better call Mike Gallagher before she does.
You're gonna wanna call Mike Gallagher. If you want custody rights, we'll win the fight. You're gonna wanna call Mike Gallagher. You're gonna wanna call Mike Gallagher.
It's a good song. I don't know. Here's okay.
Gonna wanna call Mike Gallagher.
You should sample that in one of your tracks. Here's we're getting back to the Norton furniture. I just put that in there because I was like, what was a Seattle commercial I thought was kind of funny, and that was one where they're fighting over the phone. Whoa, there's someone in a chicken
My
suit.
wife's mad at me. It's about our living room set, but there's nothing I can do.
It was a turkey suit.
It's terrible.
Hey, Mancuso, listen to me. If you can't get credit at Norton Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere.
Dude, that's not the first time he's pointed a gun at somebody.
Come on, we don't have time for that now.
He does not talk like a guy from Cleveland. That is true. Like, he has more of like a northeastern kind of New York accent.
He's mob.
He does not talk like a guy from Cleveland.
Guarantee you he lives in Youngstown and sells furniture out of
Mancuso,
Cleveland.
Leave the turkey alone.
Mancuso.
Robin Hood. My credit's terrible. I don't feel like doing anything. Traveler.
Good news for people with credit problems. Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit at Norton Furniture, you can't get credit anywhere.
By the way, we're $19 away from the goal. If anyone wants to drop one, help us reach the goal, that'd be sweet. But a couple of you can throw in some fivers. We need to, wrap up the show soon because I think we're starting to get view botted, and I just don't want to deal with that shit. So if someone could help us, that would be amazing. Have you ever heard of the Purple Gang? Speaking of like mob and gangsters and shit.
I don't recall.
Like during Prohibition in the 1920s, they were a gang of Jewish. They were like a Jewish mafia, and they wore purple like zoot suits and like the hats and everything, and they would smuggle because Detroit is just like across a river from Canada, and alcohol was legal in Canada, so they would smuggle booze on boats from Canada to Detroit, and then they would just go south and then like distribute it down there, and it like they're kind of a famous gang in like Detroit history, the Purple Gang. Yeah.
The purple. I gotta use the receptacle.
Do your thing.
In today's weather, as in Lyon, there's high highs and
Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, Norton Furniture is taking over. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere.
He's like,
my name is Mark.
They got you, Mark. No.
216-687-1660.
Crazy Bruce. Crazy Bruce. So this is another guy.
Everybody loves a discount.
Ooh, a barbershop quartet.
Come see Crazy. He's got the greatest bargains. Yes, my friends, that's how we feel about his deal.
Hey, fellas, can you cut my hair as low as my prices?
This is White House Liquors in
What's up, King Cobra?
Hartford and Bristol. He is crazy.
Yeah, Cobra, did you hear that Ozzy got inducted into the Hall of Fame? Ozzy got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tonight, so that's definitely cause for like some guitar shredding, I would say. Cheers.
Crazy Bruce's White House Liquors in West Hartford and Bristol. He is crazy.
Lex Luthor has Superman trapped. He's using kryptonite to destroy his powers.
Now you'll tell me why Superman peanut butter tastes...
I remember this incarnation of Lex Luthor. I remember watching cartoons kind of during this era where Lex Luthor had his power suit where he was basically as powerful as Superman, and he could fly around in it and everything. I don't know if anyone's as old as me, like old enough to remember
great,
that.
Never. So fresh roasted, so creamy, so yummy. Then its secret will be mine, all mine.
Oh, they put the kryptonite in like a chest. So now Superman has his powers back. Yeah.
Foiled again! Just wait, Superman. I'll find out.
Superman peanut butter.
I watch the Super Friends all the time. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Its strength is its great taste.
Here's a bunch of RoboCop commercials. I don't know if it's like commercials that happen to have RoboCop in them or...
Magnavolt, the final word in auto security. No.
Oh, hold on. Are these from the movie? Are these... Okay, these are the commercials from the actual movie, right? I don't even want to watch these. Let's do something else.
I used to be frightened by all the wine coolers I saw. I was scared
It's Vincent Price doing the voice of a polar bear.
I wouldn't pick the right one. Luckily, I did. It was the most refreshing one of them all. Sun Country wine cooler. You see, Sun Country is a blend of premium white wine and real fruit juice. That's what gives it its great taste. Sun Country, say, give me the real juice cooler. If you don't say Sun Country, you'd better sleep with your lights on.
There's someone special I want to look good for. Me.
It's my turn
Oh my God.
to see what I can see. I hope you'll understand. This time
Yeah, commercials were so different.
is just for me.
Looking good makes me feel good, so I use oil of Olay. It's so
Yeah, it used to be called Oil of Olay. Now it's just called Olay.
sheer and greaseless, it sinks right in for a softer, younger look.
Oil of Olay, beauty fluid or luxurious cream to help keep you looking younger too.
I love the rich, whole wheat goodness of Kellogg's Mini Wheats.
Yeehaw!
But the delicious frosted side makes the rich kid in me open wide.
The nutritious shredded wheat helps keep me on my toes. But the little ballerina in me thinks the taste steals the show.
One last tip train, guys. Help us out. Help us get to 100%. $19.
Kellogg's
Someone drop, one person drops 10, another person drops 9.
Mini Wheats.
Done and done.
The adult in you, great taste for the kid in you, so they're delicious and nutritious.
The whole grain wheat really packs a crunch, but the delicious taste gives it just the right punch.
I remember these commercials for sure.
Table for two, please.
Yes, you'd prefer something in our smoking area, Philippe?
Fine.
How'd you know she smoked? Teeth, Orlando. Tobacco stains give smokers away.
Not when you brush every day with Topol.
Topol.
Smoker's tooth polish with fluoride safely removes
Smoker's tooth polish.
newly deposited tobacco particles and helps clean away built-up stains.
Table for two, please. I have a charming table in our non-smoking area. No, we smoke. But your teeth, so clean. He smokes.
Topol, the only toothpaste a smoker needs.
You'll confuse the host at the fancy restaurant that you're going to.
Go.
Go! Thank you so much. Hell yeah.
Like sands through the hourglass,
The days of our lives?
so are the days of our lives.
Yep. Wow.
This is MacDonald Carey, and these are the days of our lives.
Oh, shit. Deodorant tampons. So if you got a stanky hoo-ha, I almost said punani. A stinky hoo-ha. Here you go. They'll probably work in your butt, too. They could deodorize your butthole.
I need those for my punani.
Yep. Or your hoo-ha.
A comfortable plastic applicator. A deodorant for freshness.
You ever notice in toilet paper commercials, they always use a blue liquid? Like they don't just like use like a yellow liquid or like brown streaks or whatever. Yeah. I always thought that was weird.
A special plastic wrap so they won't open in your purse. Playtex tampons give you what you want and more.
Whoa! Can we go back? Can we go back like 2 seconds? Look at this! Look at this warning message.
It's a touchy video because it's like an hour long. So
yeah. Oh shit! All right. See, it should be dropping right.
Plastic
No,
wrap.
not there. Not there.
That is a classic yellow wiffle ball bat right there. That is amazing. Man, I used to beat the shit out of my cousins with that. It's a good beater.
Tampons give you.
There we go.
Right here.
Insert about toxic shock.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's that insert say? Is toxic shock syndrome still an issue to this day?
It still happens.
Or was that
yeah.
an 80s problem?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I remember learning about it in health class, like in high school. You know,
like, hey, by the way, we have an insert about toxic shock.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because it can be really bad.
Do what you want.
It can be fatal.
And more.
You seem to do more with the head.
I think women in the
Now,
80s had the
another-
best fashion.
Way to spell relief. Sodium-free Rolaids. Sodium-free Rolaids gives millions 100% relief for acid indigestion. Plus, it's rich in
I don't know if I
calcium.
could say no to a woman wearing shoulder pads.
Sodium-free Rolaids for extra calcium.
I think the shoulder pads are kind of coming back.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Because I look at like the ladies on the news, you know, and they'll have shoulder pads. And they're dressed a little more. They're not casual dress. It's like a little more fancy. It's not formal, but it's like, you know, I don't even know how to say the style of
and
dress.
100% relief.
It's like semi-formal.
Casual?
It's not casual, I wouldn't say. Because the men are wearing suits and the women are wearing like, you know, like nicer clothing. Business casual, people are saying. Yeah, I'd say. But a suit is a little more formal. Like semi-formal. I don't know.
For relief, discover Benadryl, the most prescribed allergy medication ever. Available without prescription. Benadryl and Benadryl decongestant.
You ever think that Benadryl was named after you when you were a kid?
That and Ben Gay were both like nicknames people because like there's a medication that has like Ben in it. So and now there's benzos also, like anti-anxieties. Oh, they're pretty mellow. That's for sure.
Feel it in the air. Elation.
A brand new fragrance from Impulse.
Excitement everywhere. Elation. Elation.
If a man you've never met before suddenly gives you flowers, that's Elation, the exciting new fragrance from Impulse.
Thursday's Cosby.
I prefer Icy Hot over Ben Gay. It's just like it tingles a little more intense. You know what I'm saying? But now I used to use Tiger Balm because it had some of the same ingredients for sore muscles, and now I use Dragon Balm, which is like a cannabis version of it that's sold locally here. Love that shit.
Starting off a night of family fun. And leave it to Family Ties to keep the laughs coming.
Oh no, what are we going to...
Family Ties, hell yeah. Did you ever watch Family Ties?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Is that supposed to be a kid in the chair or is that actually a doll?
That's like a doll.
Yeah, I know it's a doll, but is it representing a kid on the show?
No, it's not. It's not representing. They didn't have a doll as a kid on this show.
Okay.
So
Couldn't recall.
I was going to ask you if you ever saw it because there was an episode where Tom Hanks shows up and he's like their uncle that they had never mentioned before on the show. And he's and Alex, you know, Michael J. Fox's character all looks up to him and he's like an alcoholic. So Tom Hanks plays this like bottom of the barrel alcoholic that drinks you know how there's like a lot of alcohol in vanilla extract? Tom Hanks gets all hammered off of vanilla extract and like passes out and shit. And yeah, Jim Ass is in the chat now. So we've had King Cobra and Jim Ass in the chat in one night. If they're, I don't even know. It'd be like the mega powers combining if those two got together.
Everything's under control. Then on Cheers will Norm bank on a friend to get a...
I still watch Cheers. It's one of the best sitcoms ever.
Emotions? Yeah, Stone. Yeah. And the fun continues with...
I like how Woody Harrelson was the most successful actor from Cheers.
He was, yeah. Ted Danson did well, and Shelley Long did okay, but yeah, Woody Harrelson, his whole like length of his career, he had more successful films and everything. I think Ted Danson's most successful film was Three Men and a Baby, and he was.
Yeah.
And there was Tom Selleck and Steve Guttenberg, who were both pretty big at the time.
I wonder, is the second most successful member of Cheers, would that be John Ratzenberger?
Yeah, that was Cliff, right?
Cliff Clavin?
Yeah. And George Wendt, I mean, like it was such a big show. Like Rhea Perlman did pretty well too.
Rhea did very good.
Yeah.
Ratzenberger, though, is like in all the
voice
Pixar
actor.
movies. Yeah, he does very well for himself.
Yeah, he has a good voice for voice acting. His character on Cheers was great. He was like a know-it-all that never actually knew anything. Like he was wrong all the time, but he would talk with like as if he was an expert on like every subject.
I'm here to strip for Dan Fielding.
Thursday.
Leon Hunley's been nominated for a Daytime Emmy.
Jim S. says Ben is Cliff Clavin.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now see if she wins on the 13th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards, Thursday.
The 13th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards. Wow.
Yeah.
Is this Heathcliff? I'm going to tell my children this was Garfield.
Crave Dry Cat Food is made from a unique blend of real chicken, milk, and tuna protein. Not flavors, but the real foods cats crave.
When I was fresh out of high school, I did apply to become a letter carrier, but they give priority to like veterans and like older people. I scored pretty good on the test, but they only wanted to hire me seasonally, and I didn't want a job that would just like, I would just like, it was only seasonal. I didn't want to like do all that work, So yeah, so I didn't do it, but yes, I was almost a letter carrier.
It's a lot easier to become an HIV carrier.
Give your cat the real protein-rich foods cats crave.
I don't think it's easy to get butt drilled.
You don't have to get butt drilled, Ben. You can do drugs.
Nah.
It could happen with a needle.
Hardy compared her regular diaper to Pampers' new form-fitting super absorbency size diaper.
I thought it was fantastic.
Or even a poor blood transfusion.
Dry her clothes, her pajamas.
That's very rare. That's like that only happened in the early days of HIV being passed.
T-shirt. This blue stuff up here must be.
Are they going to use the blue liquid?
We call it the blue
Let's see.
Blue ratio is what kept her dry at night. They're Pampers. I don't believe it.
Totally new Pampers with...
I didn't see any.
The days of our life. So whoever recorded this lived in Cleveland because like obviously they're like pausing for station. So it's Cleveland, Akron. Huh.
Every once in a while, I will watch like they'll do like a 6-hour block of like old Saturday morning cartoons or like afternoon cartoon shows where they have like all the commercials and all the TV shows you would watch in like a 4-hour block of TV. And I'll just sit and I'll watch like I'll have it on YouTube because they have the whole blocks on YouTube. And I'll just watch like a whole block of old TV shows with old commercials. Have it on the background. I don't know why I enjoy it, but it's nostalgia, I guess.
Columbo, he's the greatest hero of them all. Columbo.
Hamburger helper lasagna.
For your family.
Authentic Italian taste.
Hearty robusto. But not too spicy, eh?
Hamburger helper lasagna.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember when the Hamburger Helper gloves sounded like this because his voice changed originally or eventually.
Turns your plain hamburger into a delicious Italian meal with authentic Italian taste. Curly Italian noodles, rich tomato sauce, and a better blend of spices.
Okay, hamburger helper or rice-a-roni?
I don't like either of them. I don't like either of them.
Lasagna.
I liked the I was a very picky eater as a kid, so I wouldn't have eaten any of this shit. I only ate like a few things. There was a few years of my life where for dinner, almost every day I ate this one brand of microwave French fries.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, Micro Magic French fries. They only sell them in like Korea now, but I ate those almost every day.
I saw a YouTube video, a Vice video or something about a guy who has only eaten macaroni for like 17 years of his life. Like he cooks like the Velveeta shells and cheese every day.
Yeah. I used to I would take 2 boxes of them each time. I'd squirt a whole bunch of ketchup because the box, it was like a cardboard box with like a flap on top that you'd peel back. And I'd squirt a whole bunch of ketchup in them and then like shake them around. And it was almost like eating like ketchup fry soup. You know what I mean? And I ate that all the time.
That was your go-to.
That was.
What do you think happened that made you do that? Was it just so good, or did something like turn you off? Like, did you eat something that grossed you out?
I was just, I don't know. Like I was a picky eater as a kid. And then like when I started getting a little older, maybe like 16, 17, like I had a girlfriend and she liked to go eat like other types of food. So I was kind of like, I don't want to look like an idiot here. So I'm just going to start eating this shit. You know what I mean?
When I was young, I always thought that Christmas was just for kids. Now I get excited by it through my own kids.
The upside is, thinking of your kids sort of rushing in, a little patter of feet, rushing into their presents and wrapping paper flying past your head. The downside is reading the instructions for some of those toys. Dads, you know what I'm talking about.
It's that damn genetic autism.
Passion has turned to a...
Oh, I remember this show. Is The Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman?
Is that Ron Perlman?
Yeah. And what's her name? She was from the Sarah Connor. What's her name? I can't remember her name. She was married to James Cameron.
James Cameron's ex-wife.
Yeah.
The child is my son.
Yeah, I watched this a lot. God, they could remake this with a better budget. It would be so good because a lot of these series that were like syndicated, their budgets were kind of low, and they could with the technology they have for filmmaking now, they could remake this story, do like a reboot of it. It'd probably be pretty good. It's actually a pretty good storyline.
Will you help me? Beauty and the Beast, Wednesday.
Was that Jonathan Frakes there for a second, or no?
I don't think so. He was doing Star Trek at this point.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton was.
Sarah Connor.
In an episode
Yeah, she was a hot ticket back then.
Light up the holidays with the I Love
She was like tough and hot at the same time. That's what they were going for with her.
Lucy Christmas special, Monday.
She did a cameo
I
on,
Love
on
Lucy.
Frasier. Yeah, you know what? I remember in the 80s, like the 50s was like, you know how now they always talk about like how things were like in the 2000s for nostalgia? Like, I remember in the 80s it was the 50s. Like they were, like Back to the Future and that kind of stuff. They were always
We always have 30-year cycles for nostalgia. They always have
In the 90s
years.
it was the 60s. You
Yeah.
know, and then in like the 2000s it was like, like that 70s show and that kind of shit. Yeah. Yep.
And then we went through the 80s, and Donald Trump got big again.
That
In the
is
2010s.
something. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Oh God. Is this done? No, this one's way too long. Here's the Noid commercial. Which, by the way, surprisingly enough, the NES Noid video game is surprisingly good. Shit.
You've been frustrated because the Noid ruined your pizza? The Noid loves to ruin pizza. Whole Domino's pizza.
I'm sure you've heard the story about how they stopped using this character, right?
Yeah, some guy named Noid
His
tried to
last-
shoot up a Domino's.
Yeah, he like held a bunch of people at a Domino's hostage, and there was like a standoff and everything.
Yeah.
We avoid the Noid. We keep the Noid out and all this quality in. Taste the quality. Domino's Pizza delivers in less than 30 minutes.
Damn.
Delicious pizza.
Pizza. I don't need. I know Domino's is better now than it was back in the day. Like in the 90s, it was terrible. It was probably the worst fast food pizza, but they had like a renaissance at the turn of the century.
Domino's.
Yeah.
Domino's is not bad, I think. I don't know. I had a hankering for Domino's not too long ago. I got one of their Philly cheesesteak pizzas. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so wow, we met the goal. We got we got, you know, a good amount of people viewing and a good amount of bots that shouldn't be here, but I digress, tubes. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here, and we'll see you guys next time. You have a good rest of your night, and yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
In the beginning, there was nothing, and then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your... Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants.